inductee was posthumously inducted last evening.
I still got an air code up
As
here.
we honor from the class of 1982,
I still have an air code.
Sean Gardner.
We're not live? Because we're not live?
Sean Gardner was the captain and quarterback for the first North Hills team to ever appear in a WPIAL championship game.
So I got to write this one too for the website. I got to run down and talk to the winning coach.
Co-workers, family, and friends. Sean's legacy is carried on through the Sean Gardner Foundation, which for the past 18 years has provided scholarships and donations throughout the entire North Hills community. The Pittsburgh Pirates also
I should see that once we're live.
By holding an annual softball fundraiser.
I should see that once we're live.
Let's hear it as we honor
I got nothing yet.
the class of 1982, Sean Gardner. Please welcome from the class of 1984, Brad Haynes. Brad is joined by his inductor, Jerry Matties. While playing tennis in North Hills, Brad won the WPIAL Boys Doubles Championship in 1981 and in 1983, and finished second in mixed doubles in both the WPIAL and the PIAA tournaments. He continued playing tennis at IUP and played first position singles and doubles all 4 years. Brad finished second in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference tournament twice in singles and twice in doubles, and received a top 30 ranking in the NCAA Division II men's tennis. Mr. Haynes was inducted into the IUP Sports Hall of Fame in 2017. One more time from the class of 1984, Brad Haynes. A warm round of applause as we welcome from the class of 2014, Mary Malone Brownell. Mary is joined by her presenter, her dad, Paul Malone. Mary was a two-sport athlete participating in cross-country and track and field. She won 9 WPIAL medals, including a gold and 2 silvers. Mary also won 3 PIAA state medals and 3 PTFCA state medals. She received a scholarship to Syracuse University, where she captained nationally ranked cross-country teams, earned all-region honors, and competed at the NCAA Championship meet. Mary received the Syracuse Courage Award in 2019 after spending a semester relearning to walk and run. From the class of 2014, Mary Malone Brownell. Our next inductee is unable to join us this evening, but let's give a warm round of applause from the class of 1989 to Dwayne Hitchcock. Dwayne participated in football and track here in North Hills. He was the leading rusher on the 1987 North Hills football team, the #1 team in the country. He received all-conference and all-state awards and was selected to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Fabulous 22 football team. He went on to Slippery Rock University, where he played both running back and wide receiver. One more round of applause from the class of 1989 for Dwayne Hitchcock. Also unable to join us this evening, from the class of 2017, Nick Smith. As a North Hills basketball player, Nick Smith was a 2-time selection to the Post-Gazette Fabulous 5. He holds school records for career points and points scored in a single game. Nick led North Hills to 3 consecutive WPIAL semifinal appearances and the first WPIAL championship appearance in school history in 2016. He was the WPIAL 6A Player of the Year in 2017 and received a scholarship to Nova Southeastern University, where he was a 4-year starter and earned several school and conference recognitions. Let's hear it from the class of 2017 for Nick Smith. And let's honor all of our inductees one more time. Let's hear it for the North Hills Sports Hall of Fame, class of 2022.
Welcome everyone to Martirelli Stadium in the North Hills. Continuing coverage of Gateway Gators football 2022. Streaming tonight on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Also on the Gateway Gators Productions YouTube channel. It is non-conference action in week 2, third week of the season. 2-0 Gateway Gators versus the 0-2 North Hills Indians. Non-conference again from Martirelli Stadium. Alongside Michael Garr, Bob Orquist, and glad to be aboard tonight as the Gators try to continue their great start in 2022. Two teams, Michael, in 2022 that have kind of trended in opposite directions to start this season.
Yeah, I would say starting with the Gateway Gators, they've been going in the right direction. Starting off the season 2-0, they've looked good, 21-6 over Mount Lebanon, 21-0 over Woodland Hills. So their defense is really showing off what they're capable of. I'll get to them in a second, but they've got some playmakers on offense. Quarterback Bradley Burch has looked really good this season. Not only can he throw, he's thrown for 2 touchdowns this year, but he's scrambled for a couple as well, so he's had a nice season thus far. A couple other notable players, Jaquan Reynolds, 29 carries for 122 yards this season. Dallas Harper, their big wide receiver, 8 catches for 127 yards and a couple scores as well. So they have some playmakers, and the North Hills defense tonight is going to have their hands full. And in terms of that Gators defense, they've only allowed 6 points, like I mentioned in the first 2 scores. They have 3 interceptions this year, 2 last week alone against Woodland Hills. So again, the Indians tonight are going to have a tough task if they want to get their first win of the season.
Just 1 touchdown allowed by the Gators in the 21-6 win over Mount Lebanon. They allowed just 36 yards rushing in that one, and they held Woodland Hills to 105 yards rushing. You talked about Brad Burch, the future Division I quarterback, just a junior, one of the top quarterbacks in the WPIAL, threw for 293 yards, 3 scores, and then went over Mount Lebanon, then ran for 2 scores last week. That's one of the things that they talked about, the Don Hall and Brad Burch, that he would add to his repertoire this year. It is running the football. On the other side, offensively, has been a great start for the Indians. 2 games, they just have 1 offensive touchdown and 1 field goal. The other touchdown came on a kick return. They're going to hope to get on track tonight with their senior quarterback, John Green. Good news, though, for the Indians is that Logan Greer, their senior, 6'3", 260-pound lineman, he's got a bunch of D2 offers. He is back in uniform tonight for North Hills.
That'll be a big addition for North Hills for sure, to try to slow down this kind of high-powered Gateway offense. And you mentioned at the very beginning how these teams are going in opposite directions. North Hills 0-2 start, and I was at the first game against Bethel Park. They seem to be kind of in it. The score may show that it was only a 12-point loss, but in reality, they were never really that close. And then last week against Humber St. Clair, got blown out 37-7. So they're looking for a response here. It's a good crowd here tonight at North Hills. But again, another tough task against Gateway, and they're going to have their hands full.
Mentioned Don Hall. He is in its 7th year leading the Gateway Gators. He has coached them to WPIAL championships in 2017, 2019. That being a WPIAL championship, Michael, certainly on their radar. They're one of the favorites in 5A, and they're also the #1 team in 5A, according to the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
They are. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited to see them play. And again, with the crowd, this is their first road test, too. They play 2 games at home. Some teams may get a little affected by that. Some teams may not. I think Gateway is one of those teams where I don't think the home crowd will really get to them. I think they're just going to play their style of football. And if North Hills, if North Hills falls down early, 14-0, something like that, then they could, the Gators could run away with this.
For North Hills, they're coached by Pat Carey. He's in his 10th year, 1998 graduate. 1987, he was the team captain. We had honorees before the game tonight with some North Hills Hall of Fame members. That team back in 1987 was the WPIAL champions, and they also were the quote-unquote national champions. There were no state playoffs back then. They didn't start till, I believe, the following year, so they were considered the national champions. So they had some great success under Jack McCurry. Pat Carey was an assistant under Jack McCurry as well. And then, again, he's in his 10th year. Very cool thing for Coach Carey this year that his son, Ryan Carey, who's a sophomore, pretty big kid at 6'3", 192. He is a tight end, also an outside linebacker. Coach Carey, of course, in years past, Michael didn't have a chance to really see him play. He says it's been a great thing because now he's on the team so he could watch him, not only as a coach, but also as a father. That is always a great dynamic, I think.
Absolutely. That's got to be a great father-son moment. Whatever sport, whether it's father-daughter, father-son, any sport in high school, if you have that connection not only to coach your kid, but to just watch them play as a fan, it's something special. So I'm sure head coach Pat Carey's enjoying his sophomore season with his son, and then he's got 2 years ahead as well. So it should be a special moment for them for the next few years. We
see the Gator Band across the way. Gateway will get the football to start tonight's contest. Pat Carey, by the way, always the coach's son. We'll look out for with Ryan. They seem to be heady. And it's always because I always allude to it because they are a coach's son, or a coach's daughter. They seem to be more in tune. Gateway has Chris Livesey back deep to receive along with Inez Jordan. They are to our left. Beautiful evening here in the North Hills of Pittsburgh and Ross Township. Martirelli Stadium, one of the top facilities around the WPIAL. Juan Ayono will boot it away with the right foot. Jordan and Livesey stand at their own 10. It's high and short to the near side. One of the up men gets it for the Gateway Gators. He'll take it the opposite way, going in opposite directions. That's Demetrius Harper. He cuts it over the 30 to the 31, and the Gators will start their first possession from there. First chance to see their offense led by junior quarterback Brad Burch.
Harper had some space there on the left side. I think if he was just a little quicker, he may have been able to turn that corner. Nonetheless, still great field position to start for the Gateway Gators on their first possession.
Start on the far hash mark for Brad Burch this season. He has thrown for 429 yards, 3 touchdowns. I talked about his rushing ability, the 2 rushing touchdowns last week. He's the second leading rusher on the team next to Jaquan Reynolds, who is behind Brad Burch in the pistol. 2 wide receivers to the near side, and the tight end shifts to the opposite side. That's Remy Bose. And Burch will run the option the opposite way. Cuts back. He's over the 35. Rolls out to the near the 37-yard line. Drop there, but a good pickup of about 5. We'll give him 6 on first down.
Well, we talked about how he had a couple rushing touchdowns this season, so we know he's good with his legs, and you saw it right there off the bat. And he's a smart player, too. He held off on that option. He saw a hole in the middle, and he took it, and a nice gain of 5 there.
Brought down by Brett Fonzie. So Burch's first rush goes for 5, 2nd and 5. Pistol again. 2 men in the backfield. Hands it off. No, he fakes it, and they go the other way. And that's Jordan fumbles the football. Who's got it on the far side near midfield? And Gateway fortunate they had a man there, and it bounced right into his arms. Gators retained possession, and they do have a first down.
Well, Inez Jordan, what a break he catches there, because he had some space, and he was probably looking all the way downfield. Lucked out there to have a teammate recover his fumble.
Well, there were 2 or 3 red jerseys there. Well, it just bounced right in to his teammate. Jordan fumbled out at about the 44. It bounced all the way to the North Hills 48, so the Gators are in plus territory. Fake the handoff. First pass from Burch is a timing pattern. That was thrown towards the far side, towards Leonard Sherrod. It's incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
James Grandstaff there right in Burch's face. Burch nice enough to get that ball off incomplete, but avoided the sack.
There you see Leonard Sherrod, the senior, one of the starting wide receivers. I think that threw the timing off, that pressure on Burch from Grandstaff. Goes by JD. 2nd and 10. Sidecar right. There comes the pressure again. They flip it out near side. That is Jaquan Reynolds. He is tackled right away. Great read coming up defensively by Karsten Addink from the Indians.
Karsten Addink read this perfectly. The goal for the Gators is to have your offensive lineman block and create a path for that short screen. Didn't work that time. Addink just rushed through them, broke through the 2 blockers, and prevented a long gain.
Addink with a nice read from his outside linebacker position. Yeah, the linemen know it's a screen because they get chipped, and then the offensive lineman released, but that's a great read by Addink. So it's 3rd and long. We'll give it a gain of 2. We'll call it 3rd and 8. And again, a shotgun sidecar to the left of Burch, man in motion. Dallas Harper to the far side. He sets down in the slot, has the catch. First down for the Gators, and more actually, it is Leonard Sherrod who makes the catch and rolls to the North Hills 34 for a pickup of 14. Another first down for Gateway.
Good route from Sherrod there, able to pick up the first down. Nicely done for the Gators to move the chains. North Hills with another missed opportunity. They had the fumble that they missed, and then all of a sudden a 3rd and long that they let the Gators convert, and now the Gateway Gators are knocking on the door.
Second catch of the year for Sherrod. Pistol. Fake the handoff to Reynolds. Burch to throw over the middle. Way too many red jerseys. There were 4 by my counts. 2 white jerseys, Bose, and also Sherrod. And Burch was lucky that wasn't intercepted.
He was. Really bad throw. He was kind of slanted, too. It looked like he was just kind of throwing off of his back foot. And look, as you can see the replay there, just tons of red jerseys all around. No chance to make that a completed play.
Nico Diodati had a chance to intercept that, but he did not. So 2nd and 10 for the Gators. Again, loads of talent. They run that modified no huddle where they look to the sideline to get the play sent in. There are a couple of their teammates and coaches and all kind of activity going on the far sideline. Burch will have a sidecar and a player behind him in the pistol. Jordan is to his left, and that's just too much confusion. If expected that to happen, and Michael, a timeout for the Gateway Gators. They just could not get on the same page.
They couldn't. It's a good timeout. It's interesting. Gateway is moving the ball well, but North Hills has played some solid defense. They forced a fumble. They almost got a pick. So it seems like they're reading the ball nicely, except they're not making that big play to really stop the Gators because they keep moving down the field. But North Hills, for the first handful of plays here, first 3 minutes of the game, they've looked pretty good.
This will be the 7th play of the drive, started at the Gators 36. A big play, and as Jordan took a pitch, ran for 9 and fumbled, and the ball actually went into North Hills territory, and I believe it was Dallas Harper who recovered it to keep possession. Subsequent, another first down for the Gators, kept the drive alive as we sit at the North Hills 34 with 9:03 left on the first quarter clock. Over the football is Baron Fowler, the center for the Gators. Big offensive line with Matt Brooks, the left tackle at 6'2", 255. The Duquesne recruit faked the handoff, end around. It is Dallas Harper, near side, inside the 30, inside the 20, has blockers. Steps at the 16, is going to be forced out right there, but a good end around for Dallas Harper. He's multi-dimensional. He picks up the first down for the Gators.
Well, look at all these red jerseys right here. They all look to the upfield, and then you have to look back because they can't see the ball has been going the other way, and great play design there. And good blocking from number 54, Lewis Douglas, who led the charge there and allowed his receiver to pick up an extra 10 yards.
Got a pickup of 19 for Harper. Quick hitter this time. Confusion. They try to run a screen to the left to Jordan, and the ball, Jordan, you can see he's confused looking over to the sideline. The ball was actually closer to the left tackle, Matt Brooks, than it was to Jordan. You'll see on the replay.
Yeah, 79 there for North Hills, almost got it. Miscommunication there for the Gators, but no harm, no fears, but no harm, no foul. 10.
It's Jake Messina, 6'3", 265-pound lineman for North Hills. So Harper's gain of 19 on the end around puts the Gators in the red zone for the first time at the North Hills 15. Again, they'll go pistol. Trips left for Burch this time. Gets the snap, fakes the Reynolds. Looking left, has a man cutting to the far sideline. Catch is made by Sherrod again. That's his second reception. He's inside the 10 and marked out of bounds at the 7 for a pickup of 8.
That is a really tough throw from Burch. He is on the right hash there with a guy in his face, and he throws it all the way to the left sideline. So good play there. Burch, he really had to kind of deliver it, because if it was a soft pass, that's broken up or picked off. So a nice play there from 12.
Some 3rd and 2. That's a lot of distance for just a short route. Burch will hand it off to Jay Cron. Reynolds, he is wrapped up. Great pressure that time by J.D. Grandstaff. And Reynolds is dropped for a loss of 2 back to the 10.
See what Gateway has to do here if they're going to go for it or if they're going to take the field goal, but a big stop for the North Hills Indians.
Grandstaff from the outside linebacker spot, the senior at 6 foot, 180, makes the stop. And they keep the offense out there. Yep, they're looking over to the sideline. They've already used one of their timeouts. 4 minutes now, close to 4 minutes on this opening drive for the Gators. Started at their own 38, now at the North Hills 10. Do have a pretty good field goal kicker in Cole Plaskin, who missed the first game due to an illness. Gators have to take their second timeout, I believe. Really not a way you want to start the game. Or did North Hills actually? Michael takes that timeout.
I think it's smart here. North Hills, you want to make sure you're on the same page. You don't want to lose any defensive assignments, and you want everyone to kind of lock down here. This would be a huge momentum swing for North Hills. We talked about it pregame, how great of an offense the Gateway Gators have. They've moved down the field nicely, but if North Hills can stop, this is a kind of a big moment here for the offense. Maybe that boosts the offense confidence a little, and all of a sudden North Hills may be driving down the field. So this is a big moment here, 4 minutes in.
Confidence breeds confidence, right?
Exactly.
So you get to stop defensively, even though you're 0-2
right.
versus the number 1 team. You want the stop.
Right.
And then you hope that spills over to your offense, regardless if you have bad field position. I don't think Gateway wants to the special team, so they're going to keep the offense out there on 4th down and 5.
Because if you go down 7-0, it's not the end of the world, but as an 0-2 team, you're thinking, oh no, here we go again, especially after that blowout loss. So this is a big moment for the Indians.
They go into the shotgun sidecar left. That's the man out of the backfield. It's thrown up, and it's incomplete, intended for Jaquan Reynolds. And we get a late flag in the end zone. On the coverage was Juan Iono, I believe. Check it, it was actually Karsten Adding.
So this is a late flag. I think I would have let it go, but I do see where the ref is coming from because he did not turn around at all.
It's Theo Dottie actually is going to call for interference. Half the distance, that's not the important factor. The important factor is it will put the ball to the 5, not an automatic first down of pass interference, but it should be a first down for the Gators. They needed the ball to touch the 5-yard line, which it will.
So that's a bit of a deflating play there because North Hills played a great defensive stop there. almost sacked Burch. Burch was able to get it away. And again, I think the linebacker there, if he turns his head, he probably avoids the flag. But the fact that he was just kind of draped over him without even trying to get the ball, I think that's what the ref saw.
Also a possibility that Reynolds might not have come down in bounds with that as well.
Right.
But it is 1st and goal from the 5. They'll fake to Reynolds. Burch to throw. Throws it over the middle too high for tight end Remy Bose.
Remy Bose was open there, just a bit off on the timing. Bose with a great delay, as you see there in the replay. Waited for the blockers to come through, and then he sprung out into the end zone. He had a lot of space. He just couldn't get the ball.
Bose, the big target. He's got offers mostly defensively as an outside linebacker. First team all-conference, Toledo, UMass, and Bowling Green. Burch to roll near side. He runs it up. He is caught by Brett Fonzie. Then he's drilled down at the 4-yard line. Good gang tackling there by North Hills.
Yeah, Fonzie with the lead there. There were about 3 or 4 of them surrounding Burch. For a split second, I thought Burch was going to find a little path and get in the end zone, but not the case. North Hills just swarmed him.
J.D. Grandstaff laid in the leather at the end.
We've called his
couple times.
His name a few times
Absolutely.
on this drive. He's been big.
13th play of the drive for the Gators. 7:13, clock turns in this first quarter. Third and goal from the 4. Pistol. Burch snap, looks near side, throws it, and has his man touchdown. Just inside the near end zone. I believe that is Dallas Harper, and it is Dallas Harper. But there is a flag down in the middle of the field, and I think it's going to wipe the points off the board. It's a hold against the Gators. So that'll make it a 3rd and goal now from the 14-yard line.
That is a big play there. Those are the ones the coaches really get upset about. That's 6 points off the board, and now Gateway they don't have a first down to get. It's goal to go, so they've got 2 plays to try to find the end zone here with about 15 yards to work with.
Would have been the 3rd touchdown catch of the season for Dallas Harper. Wasn't reacting the way a player does when he catches a touchdown. He noticed the flag initially, which he bent over. So you back it up to the 14. You need the touchdown for the Gators. Burch will take the snap, fakes to Reynolds. He rolls right, looking right, will cut it up, loses his balance, stumbles inside the 10, and is dropped by Diodati near the 7. That's a pickup of 7, but it'll be 4th and goal from there, and now the field goal team and the unit comes out for the Gators.
That's interesting because they're pretty much in the same spot as they were just a handful of plays ago, but I guess the coaching staff this time doesn't want to risk coming away with 0 points, so they're going to go to special teams and try to get 3.
Chris Livesey will hold for Cole Plaxton, the senior. The angle is right to left near hash mark. This will be a 24-yard field goal attempt. Snap is good. No, bobbled a little bit, but they get it up and just hooking inside that near upright. It is good. So Cole Plaxton has the field goal from 24 yards, and the Gators do convert on their opening drive. They lead it 3-0.
That snap was bobbled, and I don't know. It was Cooper Thompson coming from the left side, and I don't know how he didn't block that because he had the speed, and it looked like he was right there, and somehow Gateway was able to get that kick through the uprights. But still a huge, huge stop for North Hills to only limit the Gators' offense to 3 in that opening drive. It took 6 minutes, so yeah, the clock management maybe benefited the Gators a little, but North Hills with a big victory there. Now let's see if their offense can respond.
Cole Plaskin kicks the 24-yard field goal, his first field goal of the season. So the Gators drive 14 plays on the opening drive. They're up 3-0. We'll see their defense for the first time today after this kickoff. So the holding penalty definitely hurts. We had an interference penalty that kept the drive alive, which was flagged against North Hills. And then the holding penalty took the touchdown pass from Burch to Dallas Harper off the board. And Plaskin converts on the 24-yard field goal.
We also had a fumble almost recovered by North Hills. We almost had a pick recovered. There were a lot of different plays going on in that drive that could have swung either way.
Plaskin the kickoff. It is Cooper Thompson at the 3, out over the 10. Tripped up at the 15 and falls forward to the 18. We'll give him the 19. And that is where the Indians will start their opening drive tonight 6:05 to go, trailing 3-0.
Well, now we're going to see John Green. He's got 2 interceptions, no touchdowns this year, and Gateway's got a pretty good defense. They've only allowed 6 points in their first 2 games, so North Hills, John Green specifically, is going to have to be really smart with the ball. Gateway has a few picks this year. They're very capable of doing it. A lot of their wide receivers are their DBs and cornerbacks, very athletic guys who know how to catch the ball. So John Green's got to be smart.
Almost 1,300 yards last year for the senior. His brother Julius flanks him in the backfield. Coach Carey calls him athletic and charismatic, definite leader. He'll throw to start. Good coverage over there, no flag, as he tried to hit Jake Polero. That is good coverage defensively by Gateway.
And as Jordan,
yep,
he was the
Jordan,
one, just blanketed him. And again, it's that wide receiver mentality. Knew the route, stayed with him the whole way, and he got his hands in front of that to break up the pass.
Jordan's 5'9", Polero's 6'5", so a mismatch, but credit the PD to Inez Jordan, 2nd and 10. Just an isolation route and single coverage on the far sideline. Trips will come to the near side with Julius flanking John in the backfield. And again, I believe it's Polero split out to the far boundary. On the shotgun, rolling to the near side as Green throws it out as a man wide open. And the catch is made by Mike Hosky. He's got a first down for North Hills out near the 32, maybe the 33-yard line.
Great route there. Plenty of space for Green to work with. Hit his target, and Hosky was able to go upfield to gain an extra few yards, and it's going to be a first down.
Got to pick up a 14 on the catch by Mike Hosky, his 7th catch of the season. He's the leading receiver for North Hills. That was from the trips formation. He ran the underneath route. He was wide open on the sprint out to the near side for John Green. Ball out to the 33. Well, confusion with Cooper Thompson, but he does go far side with a wing back to that side as well. Wing back gets a lot of carries. Green with the RPO, and John Green's going to take it forward. That's a good pickup of 5 on his first carry. Called 2nd and 5. He gets it out to the 38 for North Hills.
Good call there. Faked the handoff, saw an opening right down the middle, lowered his head, and picked up a strong 5 yards.
Bose and Sherrod on the tackle for Gateway. Green fakes the handoff, and more of a R on the RPO option. Looked for his hole and found it between center and right guard. He's equally adept at running the football, John Green is. So this is kind of the play you like in your playbook if you're Pat Carey. Any coach does on 2nd and 5. Clock is winding down towards 5 minutes. Handoff from John to Julius, and he is swallowed up. First man there didn't make the tackle. That was Demetrius Harper, but the big man, Duquesne's Matt Brooks, swallows him up. Brooks at 6'2", 255.
Well, wondering if that was just going to be a run from the get-go or if that was another option. And if there was an option, then he picked the wrong one because the 2 linemen there just swarmed the running back right off the bat. And the 5 yards that John Green picked up have quickly vanished.
Matt Brooks plans to graduate early from Gateway and enroll at Duquesne. Transferred in from Kenny McMillan. Matt Brooks said he had a great relationship with Duquesne's defensive line coach, Reggie Wells, the former South Park Eagle, played at Clarion and the NFL. 3rd down, flat pass to the opposite side, caught by Logan Johnson, but read well by Inez Jordan. That's well short of the first down as the Indians needed 8, and they picked up 5, and it's going to be 4th down and 3.
Yeah, great play there as Gateway, it was number 7, and Inez Jordan, who initially ran with his wide receiver, but saw the ball was in the air and just quickly stopped, put on the brakes, and stopped the tight end and North Hills from picking up the first down.
They keep the offense out there in 4th and 3 from their own 40. Line again is the 43. Green is also the punter. He's all conference. The pooch punt, it's a beauty. Hits at the 26, rolls inside the 15, down at the 17. We'll call it the 18. And so that's a little bit of a surprise on the pooch punt. So the Gators didn't have a return man deep, and Gateway's 2nd possession of the night starts at their own 18 with 3.5 minutes to go in quarter number 1.
I like that call. It's a little too early to try to go for it, especially when you're in your own territory. And if you have a punter like John Green, who's able to line up as a quarterback but then get some distance on it, I think that was the smart play. Your defense showed that they can limit Gateway So I would put them back out there.
Your initial thought is on 4th and 3, maybe you take a long count and try to draw them off, but with Green as the punter, and as I mentioned, all conference, really good call there. So the Gators' first drive started at the 36, this one at their own 18. They lead it 3-0, courtesy of a Cole Plaskin 24-yard field goal. Burch the throw, screen Reynolds to the left, over the 20, cuts to near the 25. That's a pickup of 7 on first down for the Gators. Reynolds equally adept at catching the ball out of the backfield and running it as well for Gateway.
Yeah, soft hands for Reynolds there. Had plenty of space. Had some blockers in front of him. Nice pickup on first down.
His second catch, 2 for 9 yards now. 2nd and 3 at the 25. That's a good way to get good yardage when you're backed up inside your own 20. Now the playbook opens up. Twins are to the near side for the Gators. And the sidecar is Reynolds to the left of Burch. Man in motion, that's Jordan. They'll counter and they'll hand it off to Reynolds. Turns and cuts it up. Met there by Karsten Adink, but he needed 3. He picked up that. Should be a first down for Gateway.
And it is, yeah. Chains are moving. Nice little play there. Again, Gateway, they're going at their pace right now. They're eating up some clock, still 3 quarters to go, so, no pressure on North Hills yet, but Gateway has had a really nice pace thus far in their first 2 drives, and they're just really controlling this game.
Gators have all 5 first downs in this first quarter. Ball to the 28, 2:14 clock turns here in the first quarter. They'll hand it off and fake. Burch run option to the left. Pitches to Jordan. Has speed and room. A good tackle. Flag is down. He's dropped at the 40, which would be a first down, but there was a flag dropped way down the field. That was a good decision by Brad Burch, but will it come back? The discussion between the officials does look like it will come back. And there's an illegal block against the Gators.
So even though this play is coming back, that play showed you how many weapons the Gateway Gators have. Burch is such a good runner in his own right, so you have to respect his game. But then when he pitches it to either Reynolds or Jordan, they're quick and they're quick as well. So really, for North Hills, it's a difficult task to try to stop all of these quick runners who are not only fast and athletic, but they're smart too, and they know how to play football.
Malachi Moore is checked in for the Gators. A lot of moving parts too. They fake a counter, and then you've got Burch, his running and throwing ability. They'll empty set with Reynolds to the near side. He'll get it out of the backfield, turns it up, is hit, and then stumbles forward. He's going to pick up maybe a gain of 1. Good read by the North Hills Indians, and it'll be a 3rd down, and we'll call it 10 for the Gators.
Mike Hosky actually got some airtime on that one. He lifted up and he slammed a clean hit right against the chest, but he read that play very well and limited the damage there.
3 catches now for Jaquan Reynolds out of the backfield, 2 carries as well. So 3rd and 10. So a holding call took a touchdown off the board for Gateway. An illegal block has taken off a first down in this one. Still a chance to get it on 3rd and 10. They need the 38. Trips to the far side. Burch has pressure, avoids it, sets the throw, firing deep for Jordan, and it's overthrown. Incomplete. Late coverage coming over from Julius Green, the quarterback. And it was Burch and Jordan, but it is incomplete.
That's a tough play, but nice rollout there from Burch. And he looked like for a split second he had Inez Jordan on a path down the sideline, and I think if that ball is just a little shorter, he's able to hit him in stride, and knowing it Inez Jordan's speed, he would have been gone.
Yeah, but Julius Green came over, Michael, he kind of undercut that a little bit.
Right.
So there was room to get it out there to Inez Jordan. But it's 4th down and 10. It's 3rd down. I'm sorry, that's what you were signaling me earlier, so scratch that, thank you. I'll catch that next time. Thought you were just giving me the peace sign there earlier. So.
Well, I didn't want to talk over you, so that's my fault as well.
So 3rd and 10, pressure comes. Burch gets rid of it again for Jordan. A little bit overthrown coverage on the play by Kurt, no block. And now it is safe to say, Bob, 4th and 10.
4th and 10, and a great stop there from North Hills. And now that punt looks really good because they're in their own territory, and now North Hills, barring an extremely good punt, they're going to get some decent field position here. We'll see if they are able to return it as well, but a really nice stop. And in 2 drives, North Hills has limited the Gateway Gators to 3 points, and that's a big statement.
Cole Plaskin, the punt, It'll be Julius Green and Cooper Thompson. They stand at their own 40. Low snap. It gets away from Plaskin, and he is dropped at the 11. Making the play is Ryan Carey, a big special teams blunder for the Gators.
Huge play there for North Hills. Yeah, Gateway, that snap never really had a chance. The punter there was just, he had to fumble the ball, and by the time he looked up and tried to grab it, it was far too late. So a huge opportunity for the Indians to at least tie this game and possibly take the lead.
That goes a loss of 17. If Plaskin fields it on the bounce, he had a chance to get the kickoff, but it bounced to his left. And then Carey swallowed him up. 1st and 10. Indians at the Gators 11. North Hills does have a first down. Quick screen, Green to Green. Julius Green, end zone. And North Hills has a touchdown after the bad snap, and the Indians are up 6-3.
It didn't take them long to take advantage of it. Just a simple route on the left side. Julius Green had some room. He already has some speed, able to elude one defender and find the end zone. So 6-3, could be 7-3 here, but North Hills has looked good these first 2 drives.
Second catch of the year for Julius Green. First touchdown from brother John, as Juan Oyono will step on to add the extra point. Kick is up, and the kick is good. And North Hills takes advantage of the Gateway mistake. And they lead this game 7-3.
You see there from Julius Green, he's able to catch it, and he was able to look upfield. There were no defenders around him, so he had some space to work with, and then he was able to juke one of the defenders and wiggle into the end zone there.
And not a mistake that's going to go down as a turnover, but certainly a mistake on the bad snap. So Plaskin kicked the field goal at 6-11, and Julius Green catches the 11-yard swing pass for a touchdown with 52 seconds to go before the end of the first quarter. North Hills has their first lead of 2022, and again, that is the confidence we need to talk about.
Yeah, North Hills has had has taken advantage of 2 opportunities. The first one, Gateway scored a touchdown, but the holding penalty took that score off the board, and North Hills was able to stop them the next couple plays and limit them to a field goal. And then they swallowed up the punter and blocked that, and on the next play they took advantage of that mistake from the Gators.
Again, Jordan and Livesey are deep. Leono's kickoff short, and it's one of the up men, and they say that he signaled for the fair catch as Remy Bose put his hand up to make the catch, and the near side official says it is a fair catch at the 22.
I sure didn't see anything. I'm looking at the replay
Nor did I. I didn't think I saw it initially either.
Yeah, and Bose is looking at the sideline. He kind of had that shrugging motion, like, did I really? And I don't think he did, so I don't know what the referee saw there.
Had the opposite happen in the backyard brawl last Thursday, where they originally ruled no fair catch, but it was fair catch. I didn't see Bose's hand go up.
Neither did I. I didn't see any of the 2 back players raise their hands as well. So I'm curious what the referee saw there.
Called 1st and 10 at the 22. Option to the left. Burch will turn it upfield. He is met there by Michael Roginski, but he rolls forward for a gain of 5 to the 27. That is the 4th carry of the first quarter for Brad Burch. 2nd and 5 for North Hills. Actually, give him 6.
We'll see how Gateway responds here. They cruised last week, and they really didn't have a tough time against Mount Lebanon either. So honestly, this is kind of their first real test of the season.
Head into conference play next week, both of these teams. Handoff. Reynolds first down and more over the 35, over the 40. Great burst of speed and protecting the football. Goes from the 29 to the 42. Give him 13 and a first down for the Gateway Gators.
So many different ways to go this time. The first play was Burch. The second play, it was Jaquan Reynolds, who's got a burst of speed, saw a wide open hole right in the middle, and he took advantage of it. A really nice gain, and now Gateway's approaching midfield.
Final play of the first quarter. We are through 1 from Martirelli Stadium in North Hills. The Indians 7, the Gators 3. It's coverage tonight, streaming on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and on the Gateway Gators Productions YouTube channel. Yeah, feel free to sing along at home. Everyone sings along to Don't Stop Believin'. Good job by the North Hills band. Perfect night for football. Clear conditions, comfortable 78, low humidity, comfortable winds. Beautiful setting here at Martirelli Stadium, one of the finest facilities in the WPIAL. There you see the background here in Ross Township. Gators have a first down and 10, and they'll run it to the near side. A late pitch from Burch to Jordan. He'll pick up 3 to the 45. We'll call it second down and 7 from there.
Well, that time North Hills was ready for the option play. They had about 5 or 6 guys just kind of protect this close sideline, this near sideline. So nice read there from North Hills.
It's Kurt Noblock who forced Inez Jordan out. J.D. Grandstaff as well. Another option. This time Burch will cut it up. Tripped from behind a little bit, but does fall forward. Gets 4 to the 49. It'll be third down and 3 from there. Nice to fall forward when you're 6'1", heading to 6'2". That's good momentum and another good pickup for Burch. Very comfortable handling of that ball, Michael, in the backfield.
Yeah, he really is. He knows exactly what he's going to do every single time. Even if he's swarmed by 2 or 3 defenders on a play, he knows what he's going to do with the ball, and that's so important for a quarterback to have. I don't care what level you're playing at.
Read the defensive tackle or the defensive end. Make your decisions from there. They need the North Hills 48. Ball at the Gateway 49. They'll send Reynolds in motion. He'll catch the swing pass opposite side. First down and more. Inside the 45, inside the 40. Tripped up near the 36-yard line, but good head of steam, good little swing pass, and another first down for the Gators.
What's so important about the swing pass is you got to hit your runner in stride, and he did exactly that. He didn't throw behind Reynolds. He didn't lead him too far. He hit him perfectly where Reynolds could just catch it and keep running, and that's when you have that advantage. Reynolds has that speed, so he just burst down the sideline, and he was able to pick up a huge gain.
4 catches now for Jaquan Reynolds. Was the leading rusher last year at 604. Also had 389 yards receiving and a touchdown in 2021. Fake the handoff near side this time to Malachi Moore. What a fantastic play by Jake Musina, who says, not on my watch. That's a loss of 2.
Well, that time the throw was just a tad off. Moore had to reach for it a little, and by the time he got his feet going, who was it again?
Jake Messina.
Jake Placida was already around his ankles and tackled him.
It's a pretty good play at open field by 6'3", 265-pound backup nose tackle. So he's actually playing ender tackle in this defense. Second and 12 for the Gators from the North Hills 38. Burch in the pistol, fakes to Reynolds. Plenty of time this time. That's an obvious hold. The fans saw it. They throw a post pattern, and as Jordan has it broken up by Julius Green, would not have counted anyway. But the decision falls to Pat Carey and the North Hills Indians. Do you take third and 12 or second and 22? Actually, it would be more than that as the flag is dropped at the 43.
Looked like it was Chase Gabriel there, and he just basically grabbed his jersey and threw him down. So an obvious hold. The whole crowd in front of us just had that groan like, hey, wait a minute. And the ref saw it right away. So obvious call there.
They're going to decline it. Obviously, you know, and when it happens on the flank in front of the home crowd, it becomes more than obvious. So Jordan was also out there, or excuse me, Reynolds Jaquan Reynolds the block. So 3rd and 12. Reynolds will stay in. Twins either way. Moore and Dallas Harper to the far side. Sherrod and Jordan to the near boundary. From the pistol. Man in motion, that's Malachi Moore. Fake to Reynolds. Screen. It's well set up. Jaquan Reynolds picks up a block, directing traffic, but North Hills does a good job. They'll drop Jaquan Reynolds at the 33 for just a pickup of 6. We're looking at 4th and 6 from there for the Gators.
And Reynolds fell awkwardly. He kind of had his left leg turned back, and I'm glad good to see he's walking on his own. No trainers needed there, but man, that was an awkward landing.
That's a good call. Fortunately, that tackler didn't roll on his ankle. 4th and 6, ball at the 32. They need the 26. Offense stays out as we approach 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. Man in motion, Dallas Harper rolling to the near side. Burch tries to throw. I think he was going to go for the man, Sherrod, on the hash, but it was deflected by one of the interior linemen for North Hills who made that play.
Messina.
Messina again, the big man.
2 big plays for Messina. And that time, that's what a lineman has to do. Not only do you have to kind of rush and try to tackle the quarterback, but you want to get your hands up every now and then, and that's what he did on that play. So another big stop. And now, look, North Hills has a 4-point lead. They can go down the field. They can eat some clock as well. They can make this a 2-score game all of a sudden.
They turn it over on down, so North Hills with 9:01 to go. The second quarter takes over at their own 37. You know, does that so well as defensive lineman Cam Hayward.
That's the person I always think of.
He is fantastic at doing that. Jake Messina took note. Good job there. Roll out Green. John Green throws, and the catch is made on the near boundary. That is Mike Hosky. That's a pickup of 9 from the North Hills Indians out to the 41.
Easy pitch and catch right there. You don't have to do anything extreme. Just a nice, simple out route. The defenders gave you the space, and now you're looking at a 2nd and short.
That's good timing. As Hosky turns around, the ball was right there, and that puts space between the defender and the receiver, and also the defender and the ball. So now it's 2nd and 1. Let's see if North Hills will run it with either Julius Green, who flanks brother John, to the left in the backfield, with twins either way for the Indians. On 2nd and 1. A big man over the ball, Adam Buck, the center, at 6'1", 330. They throw it. It was over the up man, but it's Hosky. Thought it might have been initially thrown for no block, but Hosky pulls it in inside Gators territory at the 49 for a pickup of 10.
Yeah, it sure looked like it was for no block because he reached with his hands, and then he kind of backed away. He was like, okay, I'll give it to the other guy. So worked out there. I don't know if that's the way they drew it up, but picked up the first down, and that's all that matters.
Hosky and John Green will say, yes, that is the way we drew it up. The shorter man was no block. He had the shorter route, but Hosky now has 3 catches on the game for 33 yards. We'll get a reset of the play clock. First down for North Hills, their 3rd of the first half, and they move into Gators territory, moving the ball for the first time. They started their touchdown drive after a bad snap at the 11, and on one play, John Green found Julius Green for an 11-yard touchdown pass. That's where we stand, 7-3. Gators have a Cole Plaskin 24-yard field goal in this one. Green from the shotgun with Julius to his right this time. He'll hand it off to Julius Green. Up the gut he goes, and he's swallowed up. Remy Bose got there secondary, and the initial hit was made by Demetrius Harper for the Gators.
Yeah, Harper and Bose read that nicely, kind of swallowed him up, limited the damage to only about a yard. Back to your point, North Hills driving the ball. They really haven't made any mistakes. And in the pregame, that's kind of what we talked about, how Green had a few interceptions this year, hasn't thrown a touchdown pass. Gateway's had a solid defense. They've forced some turnovers in their first 2 games. But North Hills has looked nice on offense. They've just played smart, nothing too extreme, nothing too wild, and they've made the smart play every single time.
Jake Polero comes to the near side, sprints to the near boundary with twins this way. John Green faked left, runs right, tries to cut it up, cuts back. Just too many white jerseys. He does the smart thing. I count 5 white jerseys, 1 red jersey. I don't blame the senior for just going to the turf.
smart of him to go to the turf, but also a nice athletic play from avoiding the sack, because that could have been a loss of 3 or 4 yards. Instead, he was able to pick up 1.5, 2 yards maybe, so it's still a third and manageable here.
He'll look to the sideline to get the play call. It's actually going to come in with the messenger, Chris Knobloch, number 11. He'll come into your huddle right there. Ball's at the Gators 48. They need the 39, North Hills does. Green goes up under center, too much time. North Hills is going to have to take their second timeout. It comes with 7:23 to go in the second quarter. North Hills on top, 7-3. Both scores coming in the first quarter after a bad snap. The Indians, who were trailing 3-0, got the touchdown pass from Green to Green.
North Hills is in a good position here. Even if they don't convert the fourth down, you know you have John Green as your quarterback/punter. So if you don't decide to go for the fourth down, then you can pen it maybe inside the 15, inside the 10, and give Gateway a long field to work with. But if you do get the first down, then you just eat some more time away, and you're able to keep that Gators defense out on the field. The one thing you don't want to do, it's an obvious statement, is turn this ball over and give Gateway some life, because right now all the momentum is on North Hill's side.
Had a pretty good first half, took advantage of a couple Gator mistakes on that field goal drive. The Gators had a penalty, which took a touchdown reception from Dallas Harper off the board. And the bad snap, obviously, the biggest mistake in this first half so far. The shotgun with the sidecar to the left. Julius and John in the backfield. Quick pass. The catch is made, reaching it forward dangerously. Jake Polari reached it out and almost reached it right into the hands of Dallas Harper. But it is a catch and a first down for North Hills.
Yeah, I think Kenny Lewis was there too for Gateway, and he almost just yanked it right out of his hands. But by the time he finally got the ball, the foot was already on the sideline, and North Hills picks up another first.
Good decision, quick throw from Green to Pollard.
The Indians have had a lot of those timing routes work well tonight. Just those simple out routes that pick up 5 to 7 yards. And in that case, it was over 9, which was enough for the first.
Keeps the drive alive. Fake the handoff. No, they give it to Julius Green. Man loses helmet. Green has room. He's inside the 20, inside the 15. Forced out at the 10 by Dallas Harper. And a flag late. It's a pickup of 26. And we'll add 5 more on a personal foul against the Gators.
Great fake, because I thought John Green had this ball, so they got me too. But Julius Green turned on the Jets after he saw that hole. He was going down the sideline, and I thought he was going to score. And then, yeah, just a late hit there as the cheerleader goes tumbling down too. Hopefully she's okay as well. But a huge pickup there for North Hills, and now they're looking to go up 2 scores.
Pick up 26 and add 5 on the half the distance penalty. First and goal for North Hills. They are perfect tonight on first and goal situations. Actually not. It was first and 10 from the 11.
Right.
So this is their true first and goal situation. And I think the penalty came when Dallas Harper kind of he pushed Julius Green out of bounds, Michael, and then there was a continuation.
Yeah, sort of yanked him. He could have easily let go. Instead, he kind of kept going and really threw him to the ground. And I think that's what the referee saw and said, you know what, that's not going to fly.
Gators take their second timeout. Don Hall was actually having a conversation with the referee about that penalty. Actually, one of the coaches, not sure if it was Coach Hall. We see it again, great ball fake. Watch the man blocking. It is Logan Johnson who loses his lid, but makes the block. And there it is. And there's the spin down. And the cheerleader takes a tumble.
Because as you can see, that there's that yellow line that's pretty far away from the initial white sideline. And Jordan was still pulling his horse collar, jersey, or shoulder pad, whatever it ended up being. Still kind of was pulling him past the yellow line, and that's way too far.
That yellow line is the soccer out of bounds line. So that's maybe 3 yards, 2 or 3 yards off the sideline.
Well, we've talked a lot about what the North Hills defense can do to limit the Gateway offense. Now Gateway has to respond, and it looks like it's a pretty big team huddle right now. Coaches are saying, look, you got to make some kind of play. There are a lot of playmakers I talked about on offense for this Gators team. A lot of them play defense too, so let's see which one of them can step up and try to limit this North Hills offense, because the Indians have been driving rather easily these last handful of minutes.
They looked very confident offensively. Great decisions made tonight by the senior John Green.
Yeah, smart plays, no turnovers, no mistakes, getting rid of the ball when he has to, doing everything right in the first quarter and 5 minutes.
Clock is stopped at 7:01. First and goal, North Hills at the 5. Shotgun. John Green fakes, tries to cut back, cuts it back, and right there swallowed up by Demetrius Harper. That's a big loss of 5 back to the 10-yard line.
And that's exactly what the doctor ordered. Harper needed to make some kind of play, or Gateway needed to make some kind of play, and Harper was the one to do it. Didn't go on the head fakes or the jukes or anything like that. Just stayed with John Green and just wrapped his arms around him and got the sack.
Demetrius Harper, not related to Dallas Harper, although Dyson Harper, the sophomore, is Dallas's younger brother. Shout out to their uncle Hassan, who's an FOB, friend of Bob.
Yeah.
Second and goal now from the 10. That'll change the strategy up a little bit for the Indians. Hand off up the middle. Julius Green is stuffed up and then dropped from behind by the Gators. Give him a yard to the 9. It'll be third and goal from there. Remy Bose on the tackle for the Gators.
Looks like Lewis Douglas from behind as well. He had pushed his offensive lineman kind of behind the play, and then he looked and saw the run had stopped, and he was able to come up from behind and make sure Julius Green didn't go any further.
That's why you don't want to quit on the play, because if Julius Green cuts it out of there, that's the plays you see where the running backs come out of the scrum and then
they kind of bounce to the outside.
They're on the edge and into the corner, into the end zone.
Yep.
So that's a good job to pursue that by the Gators defensively. Third and goal from the 9. Shotgun again. John Green will roll right. He'll throw underneath, and it is incomplete. They try to come to the near boundary for Hosky, and it is incomplete. Good coverage there by the Gateway Gators and Kenny Lewis.
Yeah, nice play there. That was a really tight window. Kenny Lewis was on him the whole way, so that was going to be a tough throw either way for John Green, and a really big stand for the Gators, who were looking at a first and goal from the 5, and they were able to shut them down for 3 straight plays.
Damon McHale on to attempt a 25-yard field goal. Call it 26. That is up, splits the uprights. McHale has his second field goal of the year, and North Hills has upped their lead to 10-3. They've scored 10 straight in this contest with 5:24 to go before halftime.
And I don't know how this kick didn't get blocked either. There were 4 guys right there who just didn't seem to, well, they got through, and then for whatever reason, they just didn't get their hands up in time or what the deal was. But still, nice rush there from Gateway. And again, a big defensive stop to limit North Hills to only 3 points. Now can the Gators offense, there's still plenty of time, 5:24 left here in the second quarter. Can the Gateway Gators offense come back and try to put some points on the board?
Give credit to the Gators defense. Michael faced a first and goal from the 5.
Yep.
Really, Demetrius Harper made the big play that kind of changed the complexion of that. So they hold and they keep the distance within a touchdown and a point after here late in quarter number 2. It's not extremely late, but we saw a Yono kick earlier. We see McHale out there now, number 14. He's got a good leg, the senior does. He's good from field goal wise, according to the scouting reports, between 40 and 45 yards. We saw good strength on the 26-yarder for McHale. He also has a 25-yarder on the season. He will kick off to Livesey and Jordan, who are at their own 15. Right-footed sidewinder toes the football. You questioned about his leg strength. You don't have it anymore.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's sailed.
Easy touchback. Gateway down 7, starts at their own 20. This is their 4th possession of the first half. A field goal. Turned it over on downs. 1 punt in between those 2. The turnover and downs, the punt actually was the bad snap, so not an official punt, which turned out to be a big play. It led to the North Hills touchdown.
Yeah, the only touchdown in the first half here has gone to North Hills. I would be honest, I'm a little surprised with how this game is going. North Hills has shown me a lot tonight. I didn't have the highest, necessarily the highest expectations. I just thought Gateway's offense, they had too many weapons, but North Hills has come to play tonight, and they've answered the call here in the first 15 minutes of the game.
Mentioned Logan Greer's back in uniform, but haven't seen him in the game. Birch throws to the far side, too tall for Inez Jordan. Mike Hosky on the coverage for the Indians, 2nd and 10.
Okay, we're trying to do what North Hills has done so well tonight, just a simple out route about 6 or 7 yards out, but the timing was a little off, and the pass sailed over the receiver's head.
8 for 17 throwing the football in this first half for Brad Burch. Pistol with Reynolds behind him, option to the right. Burch keeps, kind of got tripped up there by the penetration of Adink, and he stumbles forward for a pickup of 2. Fonzie brings down Burch, 3rd and 8 for the Gators.
North Hills is starting to pick up on that option a little more and more. It seems like Burch, in the first quarter you could see there were a bunch of holes. He was able to pick his spot and control the game, but now the North Hills linemen have really done a nice job forcing him to kind of crash into them and limit the damage.
End around near side, it's wide open for Jordan. 25, makes a move 30. Gets the first down and is dropped at the 34-yard line. That was well disguised, well set up. Brooks, the lead blocker. Jordan out to the 34, picks up 13.
Yeah, great play call there. It looked like they were going to go with the option, but Jordan wrapped around, took the reverse, and he has the speed to turn the corner and was able to pick up a nice first down.
Also put the shoulder down into John Green at the end of the play.
Showing a little muscle at the end.
Ball out to the 34, actually give him 14 to the 35. And Jordan has 4 carries tonight. Flip out to Reynolds. This has been a good play, but he can't make the catch. We talked about it previously, Michael, where it was perfectly thrown. That wasn't a bad toss, a little high, really a catch that Jaquan Reynolds should have made.
Yeah, Burch again did a nice job leading his running back in that time, but it was Reynolds who just...
That would have been well set up.
Yeah, there are a lot of green, and I think, I don't know if he took his eyes off it or not. Hard to tell all the way up here, but that's something you got to catch. And if he had caught it, he would have gone a long way down the field.
Good memories on this field for Brad Burch, who led Jeanette to a 1A WPIAL championship back in the COVID year in 2020, right here at Martirelli Stadium. 2nd and 10, Reynolds running, got first down yardage, he's out over midfield. Good burst of speed for Jaquan Reynolds. He picks up 16, another first down for the Gators, and they're in to North Hills territory.
Well, it was Ryan Carey who actually kind of broke out and almost was able to get Reynolds, but Reynolds dipped his shoulder, avoided the tackle, and then once he made that first guy miss, he was able to cross the 50-yard line.
1st and 10, they'll fake to Reynolds. Nope, they'll RPO to Reynolds. And there's that guy again, big Jake Messina makes the stop for no gain.
Messina's had a nice night tonight. He's been able to read the plays well. That time didn't even worry about his lineman he was going up against. He saw the play the whole way and was able to wrap up Reynolds easily.
That lineman is Matt Brooks, who's the Duquesne recruit. So good stuff for Jake Messina. At 6'3", 265, he's got some interest next level. 2nd and 10, ball at the North Hills 49. Burch to throw near side this time to Jaquan Reynolds. Cuts inside the blockers. Good job to get him from behind. That's a 4-yard pickup. J.D. Grandstaff got at his legs. It'll be 3rd down and 6 for Gateway.
I think Julius Green was in on that tackle too. Looked like Reynolds had some field to work with, and then all of a sudden Green came out of nowhere and gave him a really hard hit to the point where the crowd even groaned a little. They were like, oh, wow. So that was a nice play there.
Both the Greens in the defensive backfield. Good 2A players for the North Hills Indians. John, the senior. Julius is the sophomore. 3rd and 6. Jordan in motion. Handoff on the counter to Reynolds. He sees the yard to gain, and he just gets there. He needed 6. He got exactly that. First down for the Gators, their 10th of the first half.
Good play design again. You have Inez Jordan going around the quarterback, but you kind of freeze the defenders, and then you give it off to Jaquan Reynolds, who was able to find a hole on the right side, and like you said, just enough to get the first down, and that's another 3rd down conversion.
There are a lot of moving parts in this Gateway offense on every play, it seems.
There really are, which makes North Hills limiting them to 3 points as we approach halftime even that much more impressive, but still the Gators are driving.
Clock approaches 2:25. Jaquan Reynolds up the gut this time, straight running between the right guard and the right tackle. That's a pickup of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4. Back-to-back 6-yard runs for Jaquan Reynolds.
That time just went up the middle, had a defender kind of chasing him a little. Was able to avoid and pick up an extra couple. Gateway moving at a nice pace.
I like the way he runs, and I like I don't want to call him small because at 177 he's not small, but shorter.
Right.
At 5'8". I like those runners like Jaquan Reynolds. They use that to their advantage when they run the football.
They really do. They really do.
He's a powerful guy, Jaquan Reynolds. Fake. Burch the throw. Gets it over the up defender and finds his man. That is Dallas Harper, first down catch at the North Hills 23, a pickup of 10.
I thought Karsten Adding was going to pick this off. He got a hand on it. Well, it looked like he was going to get a hand on it, but it just sailed over his fingertips. So we see what the penalties here. It looks like Gateway.
Oh, another catch for Dallas Harper that might be coming off the books. Ineligible downfield against the Gators. Dallas Harper's saying, what do I have to do to get in the books? He had the touchdown. He does have a 19-yard run, but he had a touchdown reception taken off, and this time he has a reception taken off by the ineligible man downfield.
We'll see how Gateway responds, because that's another big penalty that just kind of stalls their drive. They had such a nice rhythm going, and then one bad penalty all of a sudden slows them down, and now they're wondering, okay, can we keep this going?
It does actually result in a yard gain because the flag was dropped 6 yards up the field. That is truly downfield. And they bring it back to the 38-yard line. They send Jordan in motion this time. They'll hand it off. Reynolds runs the opposite way. He's not afraid of contact. That time by Cooper Thompson. He flips forward to near the 32, and another 6-yard pickup for Jaquan Reynolds.
Good blocking there from number 54, Lewis Douglas, able to create the hole there, and it's a 3rd and manageable now for the Gators, who now have to worry about the clock because now we're approaching to the 1 minute mark.
And just one timeout remaining. Lewis Douglas, by the way, the senior, goes 5'11", 245, the right tackle. Clock approaches 60 seconds to go before halftime, a 3rd and 4. Burch, pistol, fakes to Reynolds, pulls it, throwing it near side. Sherrod goes up, and he can't get there. Good coverage on the play by John Green.
Nice play there. Yeah, John Green, for a split second, it looked like he was a little late to the play, but he was able to catch up with it. Looked like the receiver had to come back there for a second, but John Green made a nice defensive play. And now Gateway's in an interesting spot, way too far for a field goal. So you're probably going to go for it. It's a 4th and manageable, but they need to get this if they want to try to get some points before halftime.
49 seconds to go. They have one timeout. And the clock would stop if they move the sticks temporarily. Yard to gain is the 29. They're at the North Hills 33. Reynolds is a sidecar right this time. Tight end right. Burch looks right, comes left, throws it out near side. Catch Jordan. He will not get there. That's a great read by Kurt Knobloch. Drops him for just a pickup of 2, and the Gators turn it over on down.
Well, if you look, Remy Bowes, number 8, is waving his hand on the 30-yard line. I think he had him, and for a split second, it looked like Burch looked at him, but he was determined to go left. I don't know if he saw a defender over Bowes or not, but to me, it looked like Bowes had the space, and more importantly, the first down marker. Burch went with another direction, and it did not work out. So another huge stop for North Hills, who will take a lead into the break.
You could just run it or even put a knee on it with 46 seconds to go. North Hills has to be buoyed by their performance against the #1 team as far as the Trib Live is concerned in 5A.
Yeah, quite a statement from the Indians here in this first half.
They'll send the man in motion, North Hills. That is Sebastian Lopez. They're going to throw it to Logan Johnson. He had a step on the double team defenders, Dallas Harper, as well as Kenny Lewis, but it is incomplete.
Yeah, a little surprising. Yeah, the tight end had his 2 men beat, and just a little overthrown from Green.
Logan Johnson on the WPIAL 6A runner-up championship team last year, basketball-wise. They had a great season, but ended up losing in the championship to the Fox Chapel Foxes. Now let's see if you run John or Julius Green with 41 seconds left before halftime. It'll be Julius. Comes to the near side, wrapped up by Lewis Louis Douglas. Gateway is going to take a timeout as Julius Green picks up 7. They're going to at least force North Hills to snap it one more time. I believe that's their 3rd and final timeout.
It'll be interesting to see what North Hills does here. I don't know if you want to pass it. If you risk the incompletion, which would mean the clock would stop, and that would probably give Gateway another opportunity to maybe return the punt, get in field goal range, who knows. 36 seconds is still a bunch of time, so I'm curious here if North Hills will just decide to run it and let the clock go.
First half for Brett Burch, 10 of 21 throwing the football, but just 45 yards. Did have a touchdown pass taken off the books by a holding call. I didn't see the referee give me the timeout wasted signal, so I thought that was 3 for Gateway, but it might be just their 2nd. Green is in the shotgun. John Green take the snap, wants to throw, could run out of that. Goes the opposite side, has a bunch of receivers and finds Hosky near midfield. He is drilled by Ricari L, but he made the catch and moves the sticks. A pickup of 13.
27 seconds to go, but now they're on the 50, so now they have at least a little bit of life here to maybe add some more points. You're going to need at least 25 yards probably if you want to talk field goal.
I'm talking McHale's range at 45. That means you got to get to the 18, or the 28 rather, excuse me. So at least 22 yards. Clock's is
going now.
Running down to 4 seconds. North Hills takes their final timeout. No, you maybe just throw it up towards the end zone. The best result is you go into the break leading 10-3. You don't want to pick 6 or anything going back the other way to give Gateway any momentum.
Right, yeah. The worst result, either a pick 6 or you try to launch it and you lose the ball and
throw it as far as you can, John Green, right? That's what might be in the huddle. Or maybe you just go back and then just run it up the field.
Yeah, either way, be smart with this. And
also, keep in mind, the half cannot end on a defensive penalty, so if you get any kind of interference or something like that, you would get another down if you're the North Hills Indians. Their offensive coordinator, by the way, is Brady Zangaro, who's a former player. Brody Zangaro, excuse me. So let's see what he draws up. Brody not only played here at North Hills, but also played collegiately at John Carroll University. Ball right at midfield, which could be the final snap of the first half. Trips her to the right. Let's see if Green comes that way. We'll throw a quick toss. They could throw a double pass. It's Polero. He will. It's a wobbler. And it is intercepted by Leonard Sherrod to end the half.
Nice play there from Leonard Sherrod to come out, kind of recognize that it was going to be a double pass, and he was able to make a diving interception to save what would have been maybe a touchdown. It would have been close.
Let's see it again, because he did have a step, but you could tell it was be underthrown.
Yeah, it was going to be
Although,
underthrown.
look, he got in front. The wide receiver did of Dallas Harper right there, so it would have been interesting.
It would have been interesting to see if Harper would have been a little one-on-one battle for 5 yards. But Gateway holds on and trail by 7.
Score at the half, North Hills 10, Gateway 3. We'll bring you the performance from the Gateway Gators marching band, also the halftime show, the Trib HSSN halftime show featuring Don Rebel and Chris Harlan. That's what we have at the half, and then Michael and I will be back later on to recap the first half and get you set for the second half tonight, streaming on the Trib Live High School Sports Network on the Gateway Gators Productions YouTube channel as well.
Gateway High School Marching Band. The band is excited to share the 2022 show entitled Headphones On. Tonight's performance includes the first 2 movements of their show and features Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum, the Marble Studios Fanfare by Brian Tyler, and Father and Son by Yusuf Pat Stevens. The band will end their performance tonight with the Gateway Fight Song. And now, the Gateway Music Department is proud to present drum majors Riley McDonough, Brandon Baker, Landon Moore, and the Gateway High School Marching Band. The Gateway Band in Conlon are led by Sean McMaster, Jamie Potter, Ryan Moser, David Burlow, Ted Crossley, and Kelly McMaster's Parsons. The music arrangements and drum design were done by Chad Hine. The band is excited to compete in the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Marching Band Association. Will attend their first contest of the season at Baldwin High School on September 17th. The Gateway Band family would like to thank the North Hills Band and wish them the best of luck throughout their competitive season. Thank you.
get your fair share of blowouts, and it brings you sort of crashing back to earth.
Yeah.
A lot of great games in week 1. Hopefully the case going on here tonight in week 2. And then by next week, most of the teams, not all of them, but most of the teams will be playing conference games. Those are the matchups that have a little more spark because they are the ones that will ultimately decide who makes it to the WPIAL playoffs and the march to the North Shore here on Trib HSSN. Well, we're going to continue our early season traditions. Chris Harlan, kind enough to join us. He did a great job setting the stage last week for some of the district teams to watch here in 2022. And even though this is week 3 or for some week 2, it's still early enough that we, want to learn more about some of the players to watch around the district. I think some of them have become pretty evident through the week 1 of high school football, but there are some others that, I think we'll be talking a lot more about as the season goes on. It's a long list, Chris, and somehow, some way you have been able to sort of edit it.
Yeah, it's not easy to take all the guys in the WPIAL and try to boil it down to a short list for a halftime show, but I'll do my best. Let's start with the quarterbacks because 2 of last year's leading passers are off to really good starts this year. Brad Burch at Gateway, he looks poised to have a really big junior year. Already has more than 400 yards in his first 2 games. People might remember he led Jeanette to a WPIAL title as a freshman, now trying to do the same thing at Gateway. Gators are off to a 2-0 start. Right there with him is Caden Olson, quarterback at Armstrong. He's committed to Penn. Like Burch, passed for more than 2,500 yards last season. This year, he's already top 400 and has the Riverhawks hoping to contend in 4A. A couple other quarterbacks off to terrific starts this year. Peters Township, Chris Cibroni. Folks at Peters Township knew him as a wrestler who reached WPIAL championships as a sophomore. But like a good wrestler, he really grabbed onto the job this year and just wouldn't let go. He's thrown for more than 500 yards in 2 games, had a 300-yard game last week against Seneca Valley. Tremendous start for him, but he's not the leading passer in the WPIAL. That title right now belongs to Nehemiah Azim of Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. Already close to 700 yards after just 2 games. 400-yard game in week 0. That's a record-setting pace if he can keep that up. So other names. Here's a name I think people are going to be hearing a lot this fall. Bell Vernon running back Quentin Martin. Penn State coach James Franklin flew in on a helicopter last week to see him play. He scored 3 touchdowns against Laurel Highlands. He's the biggest name among uncommitted recruits in the state right now, top recruit in the junior class. In that same game, Franklin got to see Laurel Highlands' Rodney Gallagher, a senior wide receiver committed to West Virginia. His reputation is all about his versatility. He showed it again last week. Week 1, he caught 4 touchdown passes. Week 2, they needed him under center, so he moved back to quarterback. But again, Rodney Gallagher is one of those guys you're going to see him, his name in the box score a lot this fall. Some other must-see guys who are worth going out to see this year. McKeesport senior running back Bobby Boyd. He's one of the top playmakers in WPIAL. His playmaking ability makes them a real contender in 4A again this year.
Fun to watch.
He is fun to watch. We're not just about the big schools. How about a small school star in Leechburg senior Braylon Lovelace? He's committed to Pitt to play linebacker, but he's also one of the top running backs in the WPIAL and makes Leechburg a tough matchup any night. Another running back, a name people recognize the last name, Brett Fitzsimmons. He's the younger brother of Sean Fitzsimmons,
yes.
who's a lineman at Pitt. But he's the running back. He had 2 brothers that played the line. The younger brother's a running back and having a really good start to his career here as a senior. Really good start to his year at Central Valley. Already more than 300 yards. Had a 200-yard game last week against Avonworth. A guy I saw last week, Cruz Brookins of Steel Valley. I went out and saw him in person against Stowe Rocks. Scored 4 times. He's a Kent State commit to play defense, but, man, he's a really good running quarterback for Steel Valley. Steel Valley graduated one of the top running backs in the WPIAL, but they're back this year, and with him at quarterback, they've still got an elite running game. Can't forget about the linemen. Where would we be without them? There's a handful of them already. You have the seniors committed to Division I schools. Penn Trafford center Joe Enoch, Mount Lebanon tackle Cade Capristo, Steel Valley's Greg Smith. Those guys all headline a really good senior class of offensive linemen this year. On the defensive side, keep your eyes on Central Valley's Javen Thompson. Senior safety, a year ago, he had 11 interceptions for a Central Valley team that won its second straight state title. He's back. In that same Parkway Conference, another defensive star, Aliquippa linebacker Cameron Lindsay. The junior's a major college recruit, played a big role a year ago when the Quips won WPIAL and state titles. With those guys, I'm really looking forward to that Aliquippa Central Valley game week 9. There's going to be so many guys on the field that I could name in this list who are going to be playing in that game. On the defensive side, a couple other names to watch. How about Central Catholic's Anthony Specca, probably a top linebacker in the WPIAL this year. Another guy, Chartiers Valley Lamont Payne, already committed to Penn State, but he's a guy who makes an impact on both sides of the ball, but definitely a really good cornerback, probably the best cornerback in the WPIAL this year. Another name that we've talked about a few times already this year, Conlon Green of Penn Trafford. He's a Temple recruit. His work on the defensive line was huge a year ago when Penn Trafford won WPIAL and state titles. This year he's got a new role playing quarterback for Penn Trafford. Already some big games, already 300 yards among one of his nights. And how about one more name we'll add to the list here? Last one, Harry Radcliffe. He's a kicker for Laurel Highlands. And he kicked a 53-yard field goal in week 1. 53 yards. That's only 2 yards short of the WPIAL record, which Josh Miller of East Allegheny kicked a 55-yarder back in 2002. There are a few kickers out there this year with really strong legs. I'm curious to see if any of them can take a run at that 20-year record this year.
And he did it without a T. I think that sort of adds to the lore of the impressive kick 2 weeks ago. Great job. You wind him up and you let him go, and boom, there he goes. Chris Harlan, great job. Players to watch. Now, next week, Chris and I will do a little digging for our topic. That's all we're going to tell you about that. You'll have to stay tuned for our Week 3 edition of the Halftime Show. A couple of names that Chris mentioned. Conlon Green of Penn Trafford. Chris Brookins of Steel Valley, our Week 0, our Week 1 Trib HSSN Player of the Week. Who will be the Player of the Week for this week? Stay tuned. Find out. Check out the second half, and then check out HSSN over the weekend and into next week for all of that. For our producer, Chris Lackner, and Chris Harlan, I'm Don Rebel. Hope you enjoy the second half of the game you are checking out right here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
we're back from halftime. Great performances from both bands. You saw the Gateway Gator bands. North Hills band equally good. I mentioned that saw Logan Greer in uniform just in the warm-ups, but he is in street clothes tonight for North Hills with Michael Garr, Bob Workwis. Shout out to the great production crew. Thanks to Adam Gusky for asking Michael and myself to fill in. The Schaefers, Lee and Lee, they're always great to work with. It's been a few years since I had a chance to work with them. Greg Hughes. And don't be worried, the Gusky family is represented tonight by Allie and Bree. Adam's daughters helping us out, so good to bring it to you. Also a good performance at halftime, as always, by Dawn and Chris. Dawn Rebel, Chris Harlan on the Trib Live High School Football Scoreboard Show. There's the Allegheny 6 Conference in 5A. The Blackhawk off to a great start. Upper St. Clair, those are the two teams that have beat North Hills so far this season. The Indians, by the way, leading Gateway by a score of 10-3 here at halftime. That is one of 3 conferences in 5A. There's the Northeast Conference. North Hills at the bottom of these conferences will start section play next week, with the exception of the 2 teams at the top. Penn Hills and Pine Richland are playing a conference game tonight. As you can hear or watch that on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. There's the Big East Conference. Notable there, Hempfield Norwin, they moved down from 6A. And you got the mighty Penn Trafford Warriors, who are only the defending state champions. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out throughout the year for the Gateway Gators and all the teams in 5A. There's the North Hills schedule, the 2 losses to Bethel Park tonight against Gateway, at the Wolverina and at Penn Hills. Not an easy way to start their conference schedule. For Gateway, they are at Franklin Regional next week and then return home for the Plum Mustangs. Of course, you can watch those games courtesy of our friends here on the Gateway Gators Football Production Network. Gateway, of course, atop the Trib HSSN 5A rankings. The Gators won. The other Indians, Penn Hills number 2, Pine Richland number 3. That'll change because those two teams are playing today. Penn Trafford 4, Upper St. Clair number 5. Those are your top 5A rankings. Just to further that, Gateway, according to the Trib Live, is ranked number 2 in the state of Pennsylvania, and they are behind Imhotep Charter. They also are number 2 in the Trib 10 power rankings, which are ranked regardless of classification. Aliquippa, I hear good things about them every year. Actually, I saw good things about them last week. I saw them defeat Armstrong in their season opener, so they are actually considered the top team as far as those rankings go. Some work to do, though, Michael, for the Gators, trailing on the road 10-3 at the half.
Yeah, very surprising, because I thought with all their weapons, I thought they'd have more points than 3, just flat out 3 points in this first half. And it's interesting because they've been driving the ball pretty well, but for whatever reason, whether it be a penalty or maybe a broken play, they just seem to get stopped, and then it just kind of comes crashing down. And
it's not telling you it's third down like you were trying to tell me earlier.
Right.
3 mistakes, right?
Right.
A holding penalty negates a touchdown.
Right.
A personal foul led to the North Hills field goal, but the biggest one was the bad snap.
Yeah, exactly, the bad snap on the punt. So it's interesting because Gateway's been knocking on the door a few times, but they only have 3 points to show for it. So North Hills has absolutely been capitalizing on the Gators' mistakes. Let's see what happens here in the second half.
Indians will get the ball to start the second half. Brad Burch, 10 of 21, 45 yards in the air. Had a couple of passes negated via penalty. Also ran for 26. The Gators, 126 yards rushing, led by Jaquan Reynolds, 47, for a total of 171 yards of offense. 32 yards on the ground for North Hills, all those for Julius Green. John Green had 3 carries for net 0, and that's not your internet provider or internet service. At 63 yards through the air, including a touchdown for John Green. That was the only catch for Julius Green. The big receiver was Mike Hosky, 4 catches for 46 yards for North Hills. Jaquan Reynolds also had 6 catches for 23 yards, so he did a good job as a dual threat out of the backfield. The Gators will play defense to start. Their defense has been good. Let's see what adjustments they come up with at the half. And for North Hills, I think they need to keep that sort of calm attitude they had in the first half. They didn't look overwhelmed by the number 1 team and the Gateway Gators and a perennial favorite or team that is considered for the championship. Maybe it's the full moon, Michael.
I was gonna say, yeah, something, maybe some crazy things happen when a full moon is out, but Yeah, no, North Hills has looked really good, and you're exactly right. Calm, I think, is the best word to describe this.
Calm and confident. We talked about their confidence. I think the calmness stood out too.
Well, and not only that, it was a mix going in. I talked about a pregame. Gateway forced a lot of turnovers this season. John Green has thrown a couple picks this season, but it's been the exact opposite. John Green has made smart plays. The timing with his receivers has been great throughout the first half, and if they keep that up in the second half, I don't know what the Gators can do.
Cooper Thompson, excuse me. Mike Hosky awaits the second half kick from Cole Plaskin. Gators move left to right for the second half. Opposite for North Hills. Indians leading it 10-3. Gateway goes with the tight formation on the kickoff. Plaskin approaches with the right foot, high to the far side. That's Thompson at the 9, over the 15, stumbles. He's over the 20 and is dropped down near the 24-yard line. And that is where North Hills will start the second half with the 7-point lead.
Okay, we'll see how the Green brothers start this drive. If they can go up even just with with 3 more points, that'll make it a 2-score game. So a little pressure here on Gateway to limit North Hills, try to get a quick 3 and out. And get
Michael, I used to, this is a personal statement, I used to be a great fan of Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes until my Penn State friends they spoiled it for me.
Yeah.
Just going to throw that out there. This says the pit guy. 1st and 10, it's Julius Green. Comes left, cuts it right up the middle into the arms, the waiting arms of Demetrius Harper. Amongst others, he gets 3. That'll be 2nd and 7.
Small hole there for Green, able to kind of squeak through, use his power a little, and able to pick up a few yards for a positive gain.
John, the senior, the older brother, goes 5'9", 174. Julius goes 6 foot and 186, so he's bigger and will get bigger, being just the 10th grader. So a player to look out for moving forward, and of course for this year for North Hills. So 2nd and 7. Actually give them 4, we'll call it 2nd and 6 as they move that ball out. A yard further, quick pass, nothing there. They tried a little down and out, wanting a penalty is, I think it's the tight end, Ryan Carey, maybe wanted to hold on Dallas Harper, but none to be had. It's incomplete, 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, either he was looking for a hold or they're maybe looking at the sidelines because there was some miscommunication. That pass was nowhere near Carey. Now the North Hills Indians are looking at a 3rd and 6. Big opportunity for Gateway to shut the door early a minute into this 3rd.
We talked about the initial stop for North Hills, which they held Gateway to a field goal. And what it did for their confidence could be the same thing here, flipping that script for the Gators here in the second half on 3rd down and 6. Shotgun. John Green to throw. Down the middle. Has a man. Great cut underneath. Intercepted Dallas Harper. He's inside the 40, inside the 35, trying to come to the near sideline. Hesitates inside the 30, and he's angled to bounce near the 20-yard line. Great read defensively. The INT for number 5, Dallas Harper. Huge turnover for the Gators.
Huge read for Dallas Harper and John Green. This isn't a great throw from him. He throws it a little under the receiver, Cooper Thompson. If he leads Thompson, he's got a wide open field, and that's probably 6 points for North Hills. But give credit to Dallas Harper, who read the play the whole way, jumped up, made the catch, and that is a huge, huge play for the Gators, who are now inside the 30-yard line looking to tie this game.
Harper had an interception against Mount Lebanon. This time he returns at approximately 29 yards. That's huge. And that interception by Sherrod to end the half, and great field position.
And that's kind of the interception we expected in the first half, you know, looking at the way these teams were going in these their first 2 games.
Burch option left, flips to Jaquan Reynolds, breaks a tackle, did a good job to step inside the tackle attempt by no block. He's going to pick up 2 to the 21. That's a good job to step inside the tackle you see right here by Jaquan Reynolds.
Bit of a scary toss there too, a little wobbly. Reynolds had to use his right hand. It kind of bounced off his fingertips. He was able to bring it in, salvage the play for a gain of 1.
Yeah, we will give it 1. So call it the 22-yard line. Pistol this time with Reynolds. Fakes the handoff. Burch has time. Floats it out there, and that's intercepted. And who else? Big Jake Messina. You sure there's 179 in red tonight, Michael? Look at that. That's a lineman, folks.
Well,
that's a defensive lineman.
Well, I just don't know what Burch sees on this play. Reynolds is not the tallest, as we mentioned earlier, and he's already swarmed by not only some North Hills players, but some of his own linemen. So I don't know what Burch saw, and I really don't understand the lob towards that play. That just gave Messina a huge opportunity to intercept it, and he did not let it go by. Really big play from North Hills, and a questionable throw from Burch, who is normally on his game. He's usually a very smart player, but that one I don't understand at all.
No question about it. First turnover night for the Gateway Gators. 1st and 10 North Hills, so they dodge the turnover. They're at their own 19. John Green to throw, has his man. Catch is made by no block. He runs it up over the 30 to the 32-yard line for a pickup of 13. First down Indians.
Well, no bigger fan of Messina is John Green, who probably gave him a high five or something, saying thank you for letting me get by with my own pick. And sure enough, North Hills going right at it. Nice play there. Able to pick up a first down and then move the ball down the field nicely.
First catch of the night for Kurt Noblock. Just sat down in the middle of the field, in the seam, if you will. Takes the ball to the 32. 7th completion of the night for John Green. Now with 76 yards. Pitch. There's a new man, Cooper Thompson, on the end around. Stepping his way on the near sideline, but can't get back to the line of scrimmage. He's dropped for a loss of 5 back to the 28. Thought a loss of 4, actually.
And as Jordan was there, he was the first one there. He missed it. Demetrius Harper as well for the Gators was able to shove Thompson out of bounds. They read that nicely. Now they're looking at a 2nd and long.
Well, in years past with the wing T offense that North Hills has run for a lot of years, that jet sweep or the end around was a big play. That's really one of the first times we've seen it tonight, although we do see Cooper Thompson lining up as the sidecar, but he goes in motion. They fake the opposite way. John Green will run, and that's a pretty good reactionary tackle by Demetrius Harper, dropping him for a gain of just 1.
Yeah, back-to-back plays now for Harper, able to stop them behind the line of scrimmage. Another opportunity for Gateway to shut it down. Last time on 3rd down, they were able to intercept it. Let's see what they can do here on the 3rd and long.
An interception, unlike the pass by Burch, the Gateway interception was a really good read defensively for Dallas Harper. And now Gateway trying to force a 3 and out, get the football back. You take the turnover. Actually, it'll be more than a 3 and out because they did have a first down on the initial pass to Kurt Noblock. 3rd and 13. John Green rolling right, throws a comeback screen to Julius. He'll get back towards the original line of scrimmage. Demetrius Harper again at his right at the original line of scrimmage, the 32. It's going to be 4th and 10.
Harper 3 plays in a row making the stop, and Julius Green never really got his footing. He was bobbling the ball a little. He was stumbling with his feet, and by the time he stood up straight, it was already too late. Harper was all over him, and that's going to be a 4th down, and look for the punt here from North Hills.
Demetrius Harper, the senior, at 6 foot 190. We get to see the second punt from John Green, but the first true punt. First one was the pooch kick.
Right, this one he lined up as a punter this time.
It'll be Chris Livesey, the senior, standing at his own 40. Good kick. There's why he's all conference. Crushes it.
There's a flag on the play as well.
It goes out of bounds at the 20. That is a punt of 48 yards, no return. Where's that flag?
Back there. I think Gateway's going to make them punt it again.
They're getting an illegal block, maybe a hold. They're talking with Pat Carey. Yeah, I didn't see it back there at the 29. It's a hold against North Hills. Definitely make them punt it again.
Yeah, since it was such a good punt, I don't blame Gateway at all. 10 yards back, and now
Livesey, so they're moving 10 yards. Livesey from the first punt attempt, Michael, was at the 40. They moved John Green back 10 yards. He's at the 30 now.
Oh, wow.
He's going to move up a little bit, but he started
right.
on the previous one at the 40, so instant respect for John Green right there.
John Green, a talented kid.
He's going to hit
some good throws tonight, made some good punts.
For about the 11th. So Gateway should get good field position. It's not as good. Hits in North Hills territory. Livesey backs away. Takes a good North Hills roll. So the penalty gains Gateway 17 yards.
Yeah.
That's at the 37, would have been at the 20-yard line.
Big difference. So pretty good field position for Gateway, who once again seems to be, they have a few plays where it looks like they're just firing on all cylinders. They're driving the ball, and then something happens. Last time it was a very questionable throw from Burch, who ended up turning the ball over. We'll see what happens here on this drive.
I haven't seen many clean looks or clean throws deep from Brad Burch tonight. He's went deep a couple times, but nothing clean.
Right, they've kept it short a lot. That seems to be what's working for them. But yeah, you're right. They've taken some long shots and hasn't worked.
Reynolds out of the backfield has 6 catches for 23 yards. Their biggest reception is just 15 yards. Pistol with Jaquan Reynolds behind Brad Burch, whose older brother Brett graduated last year. Michael Bodie as well was the top receivers now at Cincinnati. That's Reynolds for a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. Patrick Bodie, excuse me, not Michael. And there you see the trio of Remy Bowes, Jaquan Reynolds, and Brad Burch. All next level players.
Talented offense for sure, and I think the mentality for these guys has to be, look, it's probably a little frustrating they haven't scored, but at the same time, look, you're only down 1 touchdown. You're still in this.
Handoff fake. Throw to the near side blocked. Hand on that by the on-rushing Karsten Adding.
And Michael Hosky came up limping. He is down on the sideline. I don't know if it's just a cramp or not, but right here on the near sideline.
It definitely looks like a cramp. See, we think 78 and clear is comfortable. We're not down there, right?
Right. Not for a football player. So hopefully it's just a cramp.
Hosky's big on both sides for the Indians. He's their leading receiver tonight and on the season. So 3rd and 8. Twins left, sidecar left. Burch the throw. It's out of the backfield again to Reynolds. There's Jake Messina. Eat your heart out, Jake, from State Farm. We got a new Jake starring tonight in red and whites.
Messina's just been all over. Clearly the defensive player for North Hills. He's been the MVP for them tonight. And Reynolds is fast, so that's not easy to catch up to him, but he was able to do it before he got the first down.
That's another short pickup. Just 3 for Jaquan Reynolds, his 7th catch. Should force a punt. To go to North Hills timeout, or just get a hydration break? We got a hydration break. Because I saw Cooper Thompson limping off cramp. There he is. He was limping a little bit.
Okay.
There he is on the right side of your screen. So he didn't limp off, but he was calling for some hydration. Stay hydrated, kids. Whether you're in the stands, in the booth, in that scrum over there for the North Hills fans.
Gateway offense still out on 4th down. They're
Burch
going to punt
pooch
it, though.
punts. That's a good one. Looking like Ben Roethlisberger. Gets it to stop. It's actually down at the 21. So second time we've seen a quarterback pooch punt.
Yeah, still no need to take big chances really for either team. There's still plenty of time left. Just a shade under 7 minutes here in the 3rd quarter. It's been a defensive battle.
I think you hit about in this quarter especially, but Michael, you hit about a good point that Gateway needs to realize, hey, we're only down 1 score, an extra point, obviously. For North Hills, you want to say, well, let's try to add to this lead.
Right.
But for the Gators, we got to stay within striking distance. That's the mindset on both sidelines.
Exactly. Stay calm. Realize that you still have, a lot of talent on this team. Just rely on your defense here. They've done a good job limiting North Hills to only 10.
Shotgun Julius sidecar left with John Green. Did Gateway's Demetrius Harper jump offside? Yes, he did. It'll be 1st and 5 on the encroachment penalty. Went with a hard count and the clap.
It worked.
It did.
Which is a little surprising because Harper's had a nice game tonight. He was big on that last drive.
I saw him jump. It might have been someone else there too, but when you're the end,
yeah, no, it was Harper for sure.
More noticeable. Inside of him was big Louis Douglas at 245. Would have been able to see him jump. So 2nd and 5. It'll be the counter to Julius Green. He runs right, and there's Baron Fowler, the senior. And amongst others, that's a gain of 1 for Julius Green, 2nd and 4.
Yeah, no real room there for Julius Green. A lot of white jerseys.
Matt Brooks as well.
Closed that hole quickly. But with the penalty, it's still 2nd and manageable here.
Here you see Brooks and Fowler. And that interior line, Matt Brooks heading to Duquesne. Again, mentioned earlier, graduating early, so he goes to the Bluff early. That's a great program to get involved with. Very successful year in and year out under Coach Schmidt. 2nd and 4, about halfway through this third quarter. Reset. John Green throws it up. Hosky, was he in bounds? You bet he was. That's a fantastic reception at the Gateway 48.
He bobbled it, yeah.
They bobbled it. That's a good
great call
conversation.
From the judge. Yep.
The back judge said yes, but the side judge said he bobbled it. And they get it right. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, they got it exactly right. He initially caught it, but he had to come down with it as well. And when he hit the ground, that's when the ball, he bobbled it, and then it came out. So a very good call from the near judge over here, kind of running in and saying no.
And he gets it right. You get it right. I love to see officials talk with it. That was a good reset. There you see reset, and then he threw it kind of flat-footed. I mentioned Hosky had the cramp earlier. Maybe didn't get to see it at the end there. But his feet were in.
His feet were in, and initially he made the catch. But again, it's that football motion, that football play.
So 3rd and 4. Did the Gators get a big defensive play? No, it's a first down on the catch to Jake Polero, who might have pushed off. But it's a catch and a first down. Either way for the Indians near the 40-yard line, actually at the 40 for a pickup of 13.
Well, there's that size mismatch I think we saw in the first quarter, 6'5" against 5'9", and whether or not he pushed off, the ball was high enough for Polero to make an easy catch. No chance for the defender, and it's a first down for North Hills.
.92 yards on the air unofficially for John Green. That's a big target. I like that back shoulder throw, too. That was well executed. Green ruling right this time. Has his brother in the flat, throws it late, and it's off the hands. Another big target over there, and looks like another cramp. I want to say that was no blocking one. It might have been Polero.
I think it was Hosky.
Was it? Maybe it is Hosky. I thought I saw a 1. That is Hosky. Good call. He was open.
And that's his second cramp. Yeah, he's down again.
Stretching out the left leg.
You certainly hope it's a cramp. You certainly hope he's not, feeling some kind of tweak in his leg or something.
Looks like a cramp, and let me tell you from experience.
Yeah.
And of course, mine come at 3 or 4 in the morning, and I want that little ruler. They have that ruling pin type thing. There's Mike Hosky, the senior, being stretched out. I always want one of those. And of course, I'm older than these young student athletes, but I can relate to the pain of a cramp. And again, that's the reason you stay hydrated on a beautiful night.
It is tough, yeah, on these kind of these 80-degree days.
And on that, we already mentioned he came off of the defensive stand, so he's already battling the cramp, and he leapt up, he jumped for that, and that never is good when you're cramping. They were stretching out both legs, actually. It's specifically working out. They worked his left leg and his right leg. And that's a big player in there for North Hills, the senior wide receiver, cornerback, also a kick return, but he's running off under his own power, which is a great sign. And gets a slap on the hand from his teammate Kurt Knobloch.
Yeah, good to see him okay. He's been one of John Green's bigger targets tonight.
He's got 4 catches on the night and on the season, Mike Hosky. That puts him into double digits at 10 through 2.5 games, 2 and almost 3/4 games now.
Hosky going straight to the water station now. He's visibly upset, and I don't blame him. Wants to get out there, but got to be smart.
2nd and 10. John Green going to run right. Flag is down. Breaks the tackle. Trying to get him in midfield. He does. Tracked down for man at the 40, but that's coming back with a flag back at the North Hills 38-yard line, and it's most likely going to be a hold against the Indians.
See it there. I want to say number 50. I could be wrong, but it looked like there was a little tug. Was it Kayan Mabandi? Oh, I'm sorry. No, Nico Diodati.
That negates a 22-yard pickup. And from the spot, it actually goes as a -2. So
like
it's really a 34-yard penalty.
Right. Yeah, kind of right in front of the ref. Hard to miss that one if you're in the stripes. And that's a tough loss for North Hills because they had a nice game
Actually,
there.
I scratched the hold. It was a personal foul, so it might have been maybe a crackback block.
Oh.
That's even worse. So make it a 39-yard net loss. Puts North Hills at 2nd and 26, way behind the sticks.
Well, if you're Gateway, you got to stop them. It's 2nd and long here. You got 2 plays to keep them from moving the chains.
Gators check in Victor Morris at the right end position. Fake the handoff. John Green rolling right, throws across the middle, has the man wide open, and it's dropped by Ryan Carey. I don't think he tried to run before he caught it, Michael, but he just took his eyes off it and lost the concentration.
Well, I think he saw Ricariel, number 10, kind of creeping. He looked up, and I think number 10 right there at the top of your screen was ready to lay a big hit on him. But still, that's something you got to catch.
Certainly the sophomore would want to have back.
Yeah.
Both coach and dad not happy with that.
Exactly.
You'll see that in the film, but he was open nonetheless. Green put it right where he had to. John Green has played well tonight. North Hills remaining in front, 10-3. Shotgun, Green again rolling right. They want to throw the throwback screen to Julius. It's red, but can't go. Thought he could get away, but that is big double ones again, Demetrius Harper. He's been fantastic defensively for Gateway tonight.
Yeah, especially here on the near side. He's been reading every play really well.
Watch him get in front of that blocker.
Yep.
He got in front of Michael Roginski.
Yeah, it looked like he may have slipped a little too, but he was able to keep his footing just long enough to grab the player by the ankles and force a 4th down.
That's a loss of 1.
Looks like Matthew Brooks is hobbling a little bit for Gateway.
I wonder if he's cramping. He is. Either that's the 2-step in the cowboy boogie, or he's got some pain over there. Hey, see him jumping around. That doesn't look like a cramp, but it could be. A little hitch in his giddy up.
Need some country music to see if it actually is a dance or not.
I don't know what the modern day dances are, so I went with a reference from a few years ago. Gateway has to take a timeout. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I count 12.
It's a problem.
So
rule book says 11.
That's why they have to burn a timeout.
And that may come back. Those are the ones you really don't want to use a timeout on, because in a close game like this, 4th quarter comes around, you're still down 1.
One man trotting off.
Yeah. If you're still down 1 touchdown or something and you're driving down the field, you're going to want that timeout back. So I'm sure the coaching staff's not pleased.
But at 4th and 26, could have let it go?
I guess.
It's a 5-yard penalty, right? Yeah.
Is that what it would be?
I believe. For legal substitution.
Yeah.
Or too many men. But you're always on top of it. I just throw it out there.
But you're
not questioning.
Exactly.
Just conjecturing.
Yeah. No, it's a good point for sure. But I think, yeah, when you're in that kind of coach mentality, I think you see 12 and you panic. You're like, oh.
Well, that's your reaction, right?
That's your reaction. It's timeout. Yep.
Green should kick this from about maybe the 12 or 13. Livesey stands at his own 40. Should be good field position again for the Gators with 4:32 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Game remains 10-7 with North Hills in the lead. Ooh, good rush, but Green gets it away. Good high end over end. Livesey at his own 44. Cuts at midfield. Trying to get to the far sideline, and he does. Inside the 45, inside the 40, inside the 35, and driven out near the 33-yard line. Good return from Chris Livesey. Great field position for the Gateway Gators.
Well, Gateway almost blocks this, but look at this punt return. Chris Livesey, he makes that first guy miss right there. And that's the key. If you make that first guy miss, then you create some space, and he's able to turn the corner at midfield and set up the Gators for great field position. Nice run by Livesey.
25-yard return from Chris Livesey.
Can the Gators take advantage of it now?
31.
This is the 2nd time they've been in North Hills territory this quarter.
I'm going to say, as calm as the Indians were in the first half on offense, Gateway's been disjointed this whole game mostly. They had a good first drive, but it ended up in a field goal. They haven't really done anything since. They put Jordan in motion. They'll run option with Inez Jordan. He'll take the pitch. Short yardage gain of about 2. Good read coming up for North Hills on the far sideline. 2nd and 8. Jordan has 36 yards on the ground. No block came up. Good tackle.
Yeah, not a lot of room to work with. They went left from the left hash, so you're already dealing with the sideline to begin with, and with the swarm of red jerseys coming in, there was just not a lot of real estate to be found.
Yeah, they ran it to the short side of the field. 2nd and 8 with the pistol. RPO to Jaquan Reynolds. He's inside the 25, gets to the 21, call it the 20. That's a first down for the Gators on the pickup of 9 for Jaquan Reynolds.
Gateway has been in this position before. Can they keep their cool? Can they limit the mistakes, limit the penalties, and try to find the end zone to tie this game?
Called a pickup of 8 to the 21. Yeah, you get a touchdown and the point after. You're not in a 10. Right, absolutely. Burch will hand it off. Reynolds coming to the near side. Good cut. Another good cut. Inside the 10, inside the 5, and he's upended by John Green at the 2-yard line.
And here comes the Gators offense. Now they're pumped. Reynolds visibly excited after this one. Great blocking from his O-line.
One cut. There's cut number 2.
And there's that cut. Almost stumbled, but he was able to keep his balance. That's the other key about running backs, especially a guy like Reynolds. They have to have great balance, and Reynolds, no exception
So they tell
there.
me in the announcer's book, when you're 5'8", 177, low center of gravity, right?
Exactly. And Reynolds showed it off there. First and goal now for the Gators.
They hand it off to Reynolds, up the gut, and into the end zone. Nope.
No signal yet.
No, I thought I saw the near side official. Yes, it is a touchdown for the Gators as the PAT team comes on to try to tie this game up at 10. And for Jaquan Reynolds, I believe that is his first touchdown, and it is indeed of 2022.
Great Reynolds runs there. It was all him that entire drive, but give credit again to Chris Livesey, who set that thing up with a really nice punt return. Catching it on the other side of the 50, but going into North Hills territory and setting up Gateway with a short field.
Klaskin ties the game at 10. Give credit to the Gators defense. North Hills has had 3 possessions in the second half, an interception and 2 punts. And the Gators finally break through on their third possession. Jaquan Reynolds' 2-yard touchdown run ties the score. Well, the extra point technically ties the score at 10.
You had to think it was coming. I mean, the Gators, again, just have too many weapons, whether they have that RPO, whether they do that swing pass. They have so many options to work with. And it was really, to me, very surprising that they couldn't just punch it in. They finally do there with 2:42 left, and it's going to be an exciting fourth quarter because we have a very good defensive battle going, but all of a sudden it looks like the Gators may have woken up a little bit, and that could be scary for North Hills.
Jaquan Reynolds, 13 carries, 79 yards, and a touchdown. Also 7 catches for 26 yards. He's been really the constant on this offense tonight.
Absolutely.
For Gateway. Brad Burch has only thrown for 48 yards, and he's been picked off once.
Now we got to see how John Green responds. He's had a very good night. He had 1 pick here in the third quarter, but for the most part, he has made some very smart decisions. He's looked good tonight. Can he respond?
Klaskin finds Thompson at the 5. Cooper Thompson tries to get around a player at the 15. He does, and it's a good return. He's got open field. 30, 35, 40. Cooper Thompson, 1 man to beat. It's the kicker. The Armada follows 95 yards to the house. No flags.
Well, that's one way to respond. Who needs John Green? Cooper Thompson's going to do it himself. It looked like he was going to get tackled around the 15-yard line. He managed to stay up, and then he made a nice juke to the inside, avoided a couple blocks, and all of a sudden he broke free. Unbelievable. It looks like he's going to get tackled right
15,
there.
Right
there
one,
at the 15.
2.
Then he stumbles a little bit, and then he just gets his read. He decides to go back inside, and he breaks free, follows his one blocker. That's all he needs to beat the kicker. Unbelievable run. I thought he was going to be tackled for sure. What a response from North Hills. Talk about the Indian special teams. They've lost they gained an advantage on a punt, on a muffed punt, and then they have this huge kick return.
And they have a field goal as Mickle makes it 17-10. So much for heading towards the fourth quarter with the lead Gateway Gators. Thanks to that guy right there, Cooper Thompson, the 5'11", 160-pound senior.
Hard cut at the 15-yard line, and I thought he would have gotten stopped. And then he decides to go inside. That's the other smart play. To me, there was so much room on the outside, I thought he was going to do that. He decides to cut back in. He fools the defender, and then he is gone. No chance the kicker gets him. What a return from Cooper Thompson, 95 yards. And this crowd has come back to life very quickly after Gateway scored at 17-10.
Just in case You didn't think the kick return was impressive? The tackle he broke was Demetrius Harper.
Yeah.
Who's been sure-handed all night for the Gators on defense.
Even more impressive. Yeah, you know, we talked so much about the offense and the defense, the kind of the struggles North Hills has had in these first 2 games of the season. You almost forget about the special teams, but look, that's a big asset when it comes to football, and they have looked good tonight. Again, the punt that led to the eventual touchdown on the following play, and then this kick return has just given new life to the Indians, and now let's see how Gateway responds. Still plenty of time, still a one-score game, but certainly got to be a little deflating for the Gators after a nice drive.
And still, if you're the Gators, you've done a great job of bottling up the North Hills offense in this third quarter. Again, it was a special team touchdown. Mike Hosky actually had a 96-yard touchdown return earlier in the year for Gateway. So 2 kick return touchdowns on the year for the Indians. Another kickoff for Damon McHale. The Hosky touchdown was against Bethel Park. You saw that. There's a return for Inez Jordan. Trying to cut to the near side. Excuse me, good short-handed tackle by Kurt Noblock at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, Inez Jordan kind of took a weird bounce on this one. He was basically facing the other way by the time he received the ball, so that's never an ideal start, and tried to do the same thing. This time he tried to bounce outside. Cooper Thompson went inside on his return. Jordan went outside here and didn't find a lot of room.
Now you need a long drive if you're the Gateway Gators, unlike the short touchdown drive, which was just the 31-yard drive after the Livesey punt return of 25 yards.
Certainly capable of doing it. You have Burch at quarterback. You have Reynolds, who's very quick running back, who can burst through a hole at any point. So still a lot of life here for Gateway.
For Gateway, their best drive of the game was the first drive, 14 plays. Dallas Harper, nope. Jake Messina, as he has been all night, that's a loss of 4.
Well, Dallas Harper looks like he has a bit of a route, like right there, and then he decides to go backwards. And at that point, he runs into Messina, and you're not going to win that battle. Messina's been a monster.
Stay away from 79.
Yeah, yep. He's been a monster all night, so interesting decision there to. Sometimes these receivers, you see it even at the pro level, sometimes they try to go cut backwards a little too much instead of just making the simple play.
2nd and 14, Burch to throw. Has time, it breaks down late. Good job to duck under that. Finds the safety, Valvin Jordan, over the 25. Good tackle by Hosky, who has returned. And that gets yardage to the 27. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Great fake from Burch there. I thought he was going to get swatted there or maybe even sacked, but he fakes it and then goes to the receiver down low, and he's able to make a gain out of that, but that could have been a disastrous play.
Gain of 11. Great job to duck under that pressure by Brad Burch.
And that's just showing the high IQ of Burch.
Burch had an offer from Oregon and also by Akron. Joe Moorhead, the former Central Catholic Viking, was the offensive coordinator at Oregon. Now he's the head coach at Akron. So those are potentials for Burch. Fakes the handoff, pitches.
Great read.
And a move by Jordan, and just enough to shimmy around. A flag late, though, as Burch was tied up with North Hills J.D. Grandstaff. Jordan did pick up 4 to first down, but let's sort out this flag.
Great pitch from Burch there. Saw the defender face-to-face, decided to pitch it. We'll see what the flag is.
Personal foul, North Hills. So tack 15 onto the 4-yard run by Inez Jordan.
Yeah, it looks like it was Grandstaff there. Grandstaff and Burch were maybe chirping a little. And it looks like North Hills seemed to be the
They did
culprit.
get each other's face.
Yeah.
Here, as always, and Grandstaff turned and put his hands with his palms outstretched. And
that's usually
that's
means
usually
you're the
a
one.
sign of guilt, right?
Yeah.
Although
the who me look.
They were both in each other's face, to be fair.
See, there's that high IQ from Burch again. He didn't do that shrug, that who me.
Picks up an additional 15. Puts the ball at the 46. Burch. Design run. No one's there. The pitch. It's fumbled. It's still loose. I think it went out of bounds. The last man closest to it was Leonard Sherrod and the Gators. Wow. I don't know if Burch wanted to pitch that, but it looked like it. See, it came. There's no pitch man.
Yeah.
There's no valve over there, no safety valve.
Miscommunication because, yeah, you're exactly right, Bob. Yeah, he absolutely wanted to pitch that. And it's one of those things where you look and then you try to grip the ball and try to hold on to it, but it slips out. And then it's
he
like,
was sort of crawling after it. The Indians had a chance. They couldn't get there. And then the last man was Sherrod, and it went out of bounds. So we get a flag. Was it picked up? We're going to get a conversation with Carey. So the Indians had it first, and no block was in that. I thought he might have had it first. And then Sherrod was kind of the last man to get there.
The refs are talking about something here.
No, they're resetting the clock.
Oh, okay.
I think they said that it goes out of bounds, so they didn't stop the clock. Let's put some time up. Late, they actually add 8 seconds, back to 42 seconds here in quarter number 3. Each team with a touchdown. Reynolds, a 2-yard run for Gateway. Short-lived tie game because Cooper Thompson took the ensuing kickoff 95 yards for a score.
That is the second time.
Actually, had 5 more seconds, too.
It's the second time the Gators have put the ball on the ground, but they have managed to get away with it both times.
Head up to the near side. Reynolds' flag is down. That's going to be a penalty against Fowler. Reynolds cuts it out. There's a penalty at the end. I think that's going to be a face mask or a horse collar at the end, and we're going to have offsetting penalties. So there's the first penalty right there on Fowler.
And you can see Burch. He put his hands on his helmet, too. He knew instantly, so he knew that was coming back.
No, I don't see a horse collar there. Maybe, is it a block against Gateway? Is it 2 on Gateway?
2 penalties on Gateway.
Gators. 2 holds on the Gators.
Yeah.
You can only take 1. You take the Fowler penalty because it's dropped back at the 39.
Right.
Which is a loss of 4, and then 10 from there. More mistakes from the Gators.
More mistakes that are costing the Gators some big yardage plays. Seems to be the theme of the night for an otherwise very electric Gators offense. They are just really kind of shooting themselves in the foot.
Creates a 2nd and 26 as we tick to 30 seconds remaining in quarter number 3. Burch, play action. Stumbles, good job of step up. Harper drops it. Dallas Harper had it, took his eyes off it. It's incomplete. The rough night for Harper and Burch continues. Harper has had 2 catches called back, including a touchdown of a penalty. We have a Gator interior lineman down.
And Burch almost looks like he almost kind of lost his footing there for a sec.
Or is it Burch who is down? It is. No,
I think it's a lineman.
It is
yeah.
a lineman.
Yeah, Burch is
it's
up.
Fowler, Baron Fowler.
Yeah. But Burch, not only did he stumble, but he kind of threw that as he was up against his own lineman. He was kind of just winged it there. Still made a pretty accurate throw. It didn't work out.
5'8", 235. They're looking at the right leg. It should have been a catch by
Should have
Dallas
been a catch.
Harper. Should be looking at 3rd and about 10 maybe instead of 26. That will stop the clock, so the Gators will get an extra play. An extra snap anyway here late in the 3rd quarter. Still only trailing by 7. What a tough test before we head into conference play for the Gators next week. The 73 degrees, but still a great night. Beautiful, clear, full moon. Cascading us here at Martirelli Stadium.
Yeah, beautiful night tonight. But it's interesting. We didn't really see this in the first half, and then second half, all of a sudden, just seeing cramps left and right.
The hope in Baron Fowler's case, there's the full moon, which is atop the Rowdy Rooters to the left, one of the great traditions around the WPIAL. The Rowdy Rooters have been there for as long as I can remember. The series of houses to the left end of the field, they always get together and watch the North Hills Indians.
I'm wondering if this is a cramp.
That's what I'm wondering if it's worse. You see it, there's the Rowdy Rooters.
I don't, yeah.
And there's a knee brace on that right leg of Baron Fowler.
Yeah,
so
that's not a cramp. He's hurt.
That's a starting center and defensive tackle for the Gators. Hope it's not serious for the senior. Putting some pressure on it, which is a good sign initially. More pressure on it now.
Yeah. Hopefully he's okay.
So 3rd and 26 as the trips come to the right, to the near side. Vala replaced by Chase Anthony, 5'10", 220-pound junior. Will snap the ball. Shotgun style or pistol style too. Shotgun this will be. So keep an eye on that. 3rd and 26. They need to get in, the Gators do, to North Hills territory. They'll throw it down the middle, too high for Harper. Off his hands and too high for Sherrod. It's incomplete.
Good coverage there from North Hills. Good pocket protection. Burch was able to step up and really zing it, but a little out of his reach.
It almost was a fortuitous deflection.
It was.
Off of Dallas Harper's hands, because Sherrod would have been pretty near that first down if he caught it. We'll bring up a punt, though, for the Gators. And Cole Plaskin. So the penalty, the double holds on the same play, hurt Gateway. Thompson is back to receive. He's on the near side. Shank. Good spiral, though, by Plaskin. Thompson gets out of the way, and it'll be down at the North Hills 46-yard line.
Great opportunity for North Hills. We haven't seen the Indians' offense in a little bit after the 95-yard kick return, so we'll see how John Green and company respond. They have a 7-point lead, and about to approach the fourth quarter here. This is a big opportunity to go up 2 scores, because now time is in their favor as opposed to Gateway's.
Could be looking at the final play of the 3rd quarter. We see number 20, one of the starters, Dason Towler, an inside linebacker for North Hills, not dressed. They throw it. It's incomplete as the 3rd quarter comes to an end, off the fingertips of Kurt Knobloch. So the big play of the 3rd quarter, Gateway got a 2-yard touchdown run from Jaquan Reynolds. And then the ensuing kickoff taken to the house by Cooper Thompson from 95 yards. And after 3, it's North Hills 17 and Gateway 10. So the 4th quarter starts, 2nd and 10. John Green, it's a little kind of option. And he's dropped down after a short gain. It'll be 3rd down. And stays 10. So no gain for John Green.
Big play here for the Gators defense. Like I mentioned just a moment ago, clock starts becoming your enemy if you're trailing. So it's important to get your defense off the field, get possession back, and let your offense work. Try to tie this game up.
Julius Green sidecar left in the shotgun. They reset Ryan Carey as a tight end to the right. Also an H-back to the near side, or a wing back. Straight drop. Green throws it out. Has his man close to the first down, reaching out. Did they get there for Julius Green?
A couple yards short.
Yeah, let's see if his knee was down before he reached out.
Looks like it was, yeah. Looks like it was. It's interesting because he had his defensive back beat, but Green kind of threw it on his back shoulder. He had to take a stop and come back, and he was able to reach for it. But I think if he leads him, I think he gets, well, more than the first down. I think he gets a big chunk of yards. Interesting throw there.
It's officially or unofficially 99 yards, 11 completions tonight for John Green. They have the offense out.
Only one
They
on the play
could
clock.
pooch it.
They take a timeout.
They do take a timeout. That would have made the decision for them if they would have had the delay of game.
This is an interesting spot. I wouldn't mind going for it if you're North Hills. I would definitely understand. I also understand a punt. If you can pin Gateway down even farther, then that's just as fine. But if you think you can get a couple yards here and keep the ball and knock off another couple minutes, I wouldn't blame Coach Pat Carey for trying. This is a good spot for him. Your defense has proven all night that you can keep up with the Gateway offense, so that shouldn't be an issue. Just a matter of where you want this ball.
You're in Gateway territory, but only at the 46. So if you turn it over there, pretty good field position. You need two. You haven't run the ball that great tonight if you're North Hills. Julius Green is their leading rusher. He has just 35 yards on the ground. Goes as a shotgun. We saw the pooch punch earlier from this formation. Green's going to throw. He rolls. He fires. Intercepted! Could it be a pick six for Dallas Harper? Yes, indeed. Harper goes 55 with a pick six to the house.
Well, we talk about how North Hills, their defensive star has been Jacob Messina. But how about Dallas Harper, his second pick of the night, and this one, no bigger, well, bigger than ever, I guess. Reads that play perfectly, and he fools the quarterback with a little juke left, juke right, and that's an unbelievable play from Dallas Harper, who has given Gateway life in the blink of an eye this game. As the flag is thrown, it's going to be a jump on North Hills. But we are a point after away from a tie game. Dallas Harper, talk about defensive stud.
Steps in front of the receiver. And if he doesn't make that play, it's a first down and more, maybe a touchdown.
First down and more, right.
But it turns into a pick six the other way and a game-changing momentum play for Dallas Harper.
He had eyes on John Green the whole way, and he played it perfectly. He jumped it at the very exact time he needed to. The point after is good. And that's just been huge for Gateway. Second pick of the night.
So here it is. He rolls out. There's the receiver. It is Thompson.
And Green's throwing that on his back foot anyway. That's not really the smartest throw to begin with.
And I couldn't
But
see,
Harper
there might have
saw
been
it.
no one behind Harper. That's a great read.
Yeah.
Second time he's made a great read on an
Yeah.
interception tonight.
Unbelievable play.
So Uncle Hassan is happy somewhere in this great land of ours. We're tied at 17. We're going to get a penalty after the play against North Hills. They'll mark that off on the kickoff.
Quite a night for both of these teams we've seen as we see another one of those plays. See how John Green, he's going off of his back foot there. He's kind of rolling. He's already got a couple linemen.
Not the first time he's thrown off his back foot.
Yeah, he's got a couple defenders in his face. He's really trying to force it. He's rolling out. You see there, yeah, he's had number 10, Radcliffe. He was right in his face, so it was already a tough throw to begin with. And, man, Dallas Harper made that look easy. And that has just kind of quieted this crowd. Again, I like the call going into, you're in good field position. You're in Gateway territory. I don't mind the play call. I mind the play execution because I think it's just something that John Green really forced. And I've praised him a lot. I've talked highly of him. He's been playing some smart football, but that one very questionable. He really forced it, and it cost his team the lead. All of a sudden, we're tied here. We've seen a kick return. We've seen a pick six, a couple offensive touchdowns. We've seen it all tonight. It's been an exciting game.
Now see if you drill this short if you're the Gators, or you just let Cole Plaskin blast it onto the roof of the field house.
Yeah, this is interesting. I wonder what the strategy here is.
They let him blast it towards the field house. Out of the end zone it goes for a touchback. It's all kind of momentum now for the Gators. But, mind you, they've only led 3-0.
Right.
North Hills has led for most of this game.
Right.
7-3, 10-3. Tied quickly at 10. Then it was 17-10. Now we're back knotted up at 17 all.
It has been back and forth for sure. Every time North Hills has had an opportunity to kind of put this game away, Gateway kind of showing why they're 2-0, why they're ranked near the top of our Trib rankings. It's got some skill on both sides of the ball. And we mentioned it in pregame. John Green's had a couple interceptions, thrown a couple more tonight.
Fakes the handoff, weaves his way for a gain of 1. Tackle made by Matt Brooks, who left the game earlier.
And you have to believe now the Gators defense has a little more pep in their step. They're ready to kind of force a 3 and out and take this lead and maybe put this one to bed.
Short gain of 2. And now, do you think that North Hills and John Green maybe gun shy, throwing the football a little bit?
Maybe a little bit. That's when kind of your record creeps into your head a little bit. Oh no, we're 0-2. Everything's kind of falling apart. If you're Gateway, you're like, okay, we're 2-0. Let's finish this. We're better than this team. It may show here on this drive.
Counter to Julius, stood up by Remy Bose after a pickup of 1.
Yeah, great read. All of a sudden the North Hills offense they're not getting anywhere. The men up front for the Gators.
Some people don't believe in it. I think, to me, it looks, you can tell.
I think I think something's there for sure.
And the Indians had it at times. Now, Gateway maybe pinning their ears back on 3rd down at 7.
Well, it's just that mentality. It's 4th and 2, and you're thinking, okay, if we get this first down, then we're set. We can knock a few more minutes off the clock. Instead, it's a pick 6. It's a whole new ball game.
He'll throw again, John Green. Pressure, he's got room.
Great read.
First down, he slides to the 36. You got it right, Michael.
Yeah, smart decision there by John Green. He looked at the receivers, didn't like what he saw a huge hole, and just didn't think twice about it. Knew he needed a short gain, and he got it.
Actually call it a gain of 12 to the 35.
If you're North Hills, as deflating as that pick 6 is, you have to remind yourself, look, we're still tied. We're not losing this game.
And we've got the ball.
We've had some good offensive drives. We've put together a few plays here and there that have worked well. Just got to go back to that.
1st and 10 to the 35 for the Indians. Fake the handoff. John Green runs the opposite way. Over the 40, close to another first down. Give him 9, maybe 9.5 before he's ruled down by Malachi Moore.
Nice patience there from John Green. Kept it away from the running back, decided to take it himself. Able to find the hole on the left side and pick up a nice gain.
21 on consecutive carries. Prior to that, he had 0 yards combined on 7 carries, actually. The last 2 have picked up 21. 2nd and 1. He's surprised if he gets it again, calls his own number. Julius is the sidecar left. John Green takes the snap. It's his brother. It's a first down for North Hills. Out to the 43, a pickup of 4.
Good execution there. Yeah, just keep it simple. This time giving it off to his brother Julius, able to pick up 4.
Good job on the pull. I think it was Wesley Taylor. Got just enough of Ricari L to allow Julius Green to cut forward and pick up the first down. Ball's out to the 48.
Michael Hosky back in the game, coming from the sideline. We've seen him cramp up a couple times, so it's nice to see him back out.
Twins to the left. Tight end sidecar to the near side. It's Julius Green up the middle for a pickup of 2. Wrapped up by Demetrius Harper, who's been fantastic defensively. Actually caught a gain of 1 to the 49. Demetrius Harper, the senior, the other Harper. Dallas, actually 3, but Dallas and Demetrius not related. But Demetrius has been fantastic tonight. There he is, number 11. Harper and Messina, they've been the standout on defense for both of these teams.
Been a good defensive battle. It's been a good game. And 2 stars, 1 on each team, have really shown off.
2nd and 9. John Green fakes, gets around Bose, and Bose tracked him down and tracked him right into the arms of a teammate for Gateway, Victor Morris. That's no gain.
Yeah, credit to Remy Bose. He missed on the first bite, but he was able to stay with him. John Green didn't have a lot of room to begin with, and Remy Bose got him from behind.
Again, Bose, that's how you get offers from Toledo, UMass, and Bowling Green. First team all conference, actually a loss of 1. So it's 3rd and 10. And another pivotal play. We've seen tons of them as this game has been close and tight throughout. We've had big plays, we've had mistakes. Add it all up, it's 17-17 as we tick down in the 4th quarter. Green rolling near side, throws. Hosky didn't make the catch. One through his hands. The normally reliable wide receiver let that one slip through, Michael.
And that play's worked well for the Indians. That rollout, out route, the timing's been good between Green and whatever receiver he ends up throwing to. This time it was Hosky. And Hosky just ended up hitting his hands and kind of let the ball slip through. He would have had well over enough for the first down. So a big drop there for the Indians, and now Gateway has a shot to take their first lead since, 3-0?
Correct, they led 3-0 after the opening drive at 6:11 of the first quarter. Green to punt, another good one. Livesey will get this one at the 18. 20, 25, 30. Good job to go straight up the gut, get to the 33. A 15-yard return this time for Chris Livesey, and the Gators start there at their own 33.
Livesey's had a couple nice punt returns. Cooper Thompson on North Hills had the highlight one, but Livesey set up the drive to make it 10-10, and he's had another nice return here, gaining about 15 or so.
Sometimes it's not those big returns, when you just get as much as you can from the 18 to the 33. So pretty fair field position for the Gators, who are tied at 17. We've got 5:10 to go in this 4th quarter. Can they engineer a game-winning drive? Burch, Reynolds runs right. 35-40, 45-50 in the North Hills territory. Dropped at the 48. That's a way to start a pickup of 19 for Jaquan Reynolds.
Who is it? Big number 74 right there. Look at the block. Jacob Santo with a huge block to create that hold for Reynolds, and have Reynolds allowed Reynolds to break free and cross midfield.
Burch fakes a handoff, running, rolling, spinning, turning, breaks a tackle inside the 45, still on his feet. All kind of shucking and jiving and juking and turning for 10 and a first down for Brad Burch.
Brad Burch, to me, I'm telling you, it always looks like he's about to stumble and fall, but he's got some balance of his own. Look at those jukes right there, making the defender miss. And then he's picking up another 4 or 5 yards, then lowers his head. No fear at all from this quarterback.
How about this drive starts consecutive first down runs for the Gateway Gators of 19 and then 10. Reynolds this time, hit immediately and dropped for no gain. Good read by North Hills. And that's Ryan Carey, the sophomore defensive end. Outside linebacker, excuse me.
Nice play there from Carey to stop Reynolds from gaining any traction. Under 4 minutes now for Gateway. No need to rush here.
Got a good field goal kicker in Cole Plaskin. You need about at least 18 more yards, I would think, to be comfortable. You'd like, obviously, to score a touchdown. Who moved first, red or white? Because we saw Brett Fonzie jump. We also saw Chase Gabriel move, but did Gabriel move because of Fonzie? What does the conclave give us? Offside, North Hills. They had 1 penalty in the first half. They have 6 in the second half. 2nd and 10 becomes 2nd and 5. 3 yards.
Costly penalty there. Yeah, it's after you managed to stop Reynolds, and one of the few times you were able to stop Reynolds, and then you just kind of give him 3-5 yards.
Shotgun. Reynolds running right, nothing doing. I believe that was Ryan Carey. Fantastic play by the sophomore for a loss of 3.
Yeah, nothing there. Yeah, Carey, nice play. Read it the whole way. Didn't let Reynolds get to the outside.
Remember how Dad's last coach was unhappy with the drop? Dad's last coach will be real happy with that play.
Responding well. And I feel like I've said it 10 times today, but man, this seems like another really big play.
As we tick under 3 minutes to go, tied at 17.
Every time I say it, the two teams end up making another big play.
Burch in the pistol. Man in motion. That's Jordan coming to the near side. Throwing opposite side. No one there. Almost intercepted. The receiver fell down. Hosky almost picked it off. It was intended for Sherrod.
No, I think it was intended for Harper. Dallas Harper.
5 instead of 6.
Yeah.
Let's see if Burch hit his hand at the end of this. On his own man, maybe? Reynolds? Yeah, it was Dallas Harper.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Harper, I don't know if he got tripped up or slipped or what the deal was. Either he slipped on the grass or got tied up with the defender there, but now an interesting call here.
4th and 7. Offense stays out. Burch could pooch it.
But also good enough field position that I wouldn't mind going for it here.
I would agree with that. I think I would.
They are.
End around, and as Jordan turns the corner, stops, gets the first down, spins inside the 25 and all the way to the 21-yard line. He needed 7. He picked up 14.
That end around has worked so well for the Gators tonight, and a huge stiff arm there from Jordan to beat the defender, turn the corner, and then pick up the first down. Unbelievable play. If he gets wrapped up, obviously that's going the other way, but a huge stiff arm there from Jordan, and now the Gators are in complete control. They're in field goal range, so now the clock is their friend.
So that's a big play. Jordan's run the ball well. Here comes Reynolds, who's also run the ball well. Inside the 20, inside the 15. Dragged and spun around by no block, but he's going to pick up a first down to the 9. A gain of 12 for Jaquan Reynolds.
Under 2 minutes now. Now you can see the Gators. They're going for the kill.
And officially 108 on the ground now for Jaquan Reynolds. 2 big plays, 14 for Jordan on the end around on 4th and 7. And then
if I'm Gateway, I'm letting this play clock go down. I don't know why they're snapping it.
Reynolds gets it, cuts. Remy Bose thought he had room to get in the end zone, but he is dropped after a pickup of 5 at the 4.
Looks like, North Hills called a timeout. Yeah, if you're Gateway, to me, I would let that play clock bleed another 10 or 15 seconds. You've already allowed 1 kick return. North Hills has made some big offensive plays, so the last thing you want is giving North Hills any kind of hope here. Force the Indians to call timeout. You are in complete control here. You're knocking on the door. Field goal wins this. Just be smart. Obviously a touchdown is ideal, but a field goal works just as well. So to me, you need to run that clock down as much as possible.
We'll see if they put it in the hands of Jaquan Reynolds, who has 18 carries, 113 yards and a touchdown. Or do you put it in the hands and the decision-making of Brad Burch?
Yeah, a lot of different ways you can go here. The end around has worked just as well. The Inez Jordan play. You have Reynolds. Burch can take it himself. A lot of different options. I would keep it on the ground, though. There's
as well.
No sense in
I'd be leaning to handing it off to Jaquan Reynolds, although North Hills might be thinking that. But Reynolds has run it well. They put a man in motion. It's Dallas Harper. They'll hand it off. It is Reynolds, but no. stacked up immediately. It was lose a yard, actually.
Reynolds is brought down by number 15, J.D.
Grandstaff on the tackle. Another timeout for North Hills. Ball back to the 5, 3rd and goal from the 5 now for Gateway.
Same thing. I want to try to throw it. I would keep this on the ground. And you take your field goal, you get your points. If you don't score, if you do score, even better for Gateway. But if you don't score, field goal is just fine.
Well, here are the options, and you could always throw it, but I'm with you keeping it on the ground. You could maybe play action fake or fake it to Reynolds. Jordan has been good on the end arounds, and Burch, the decision making, except for the option when no one was there, right?
Right.
Has been good making those decisions as well.
Exactly. Yeah, Burch has had a nice night. Yeah, a couple picks, or one pick, and yeah, that the pitch that he threw to a phantom player, I guess. But for the most part, he's been very good. He's got to be smart here. Yeah, a few options you could go with. Reynolds has been so good. Again, we mentioned that low center of gravity. Maybe he can just lower his head and try to drive in. But the last thing you want is try to throw it in the air with a lob or something there. It can get tipped, maybe get picked off. You want to come away with points on this drive. You got to keep it on the ground.
One of the touchdown runs last week against Woodland Hills for Brad Burch was from 5 yards. 3rd and goal from the 5 with 1:21 to go. We'll get an extra man. I thought it was in the backfield. They're going to get a player to run off now as they set up Sherrod to the near side. That player is off, so it is a pistol with Reynolds. It is a handoff to Reynolds. Cuts it up, turns it inside, fights for yardage, but he can't get there. He's dropped the 2 inside the 2.
I don't know if Reynolds saw it, but you'll look here on the right side, a little kind of to the top of your screen. It looked like he had a hole there, maybe a clearer path to the end zone, but he stuck right in the middle, and he got blocked around the 2-yard line, so it didn't work out. I'm curious if he saw that or if he was determined to go on that one path. But it looked like a touchdown had he just juked to the right a little.
Now, the Gators with the decision. They're going to take a timeout. Should get inside of 40 seconds, close to 35 seconds.
I'll call a timeout.
Right at 34, actually. So, the decision, Michael Garr. Do you put it on the right toe of Cole Plaskin, or do you rely on your offense to get the 2 and the go-ahead score?
You absolutely go for the field goal here. It is a tie game. You know, if you're down 4, you obviously have to go for the touchdown. But this is a tie game. You have a reliable kicker, and this is a chip shot. I don't care what level.
It's an extra point, right?
It's an extra point, essentially. You have 34 seconds left. The last thing you want to do is have a bad snap, or if Reynolds gets stuffed, or something goes wrong. It just, don't overthink this, and I'd be very, very surprised if the offense came back out. To me, this is a no-brainer. You got to go for the field goal, take the points.
Plaskin has already connected tonight from 24 yards.
Offense is still out on the sideline. This is interesting. It's a tie ball game. I don't understand how you just don't take the points. I understand your offense is good, but North Hills has done a good job.
You have an additional timeout. Do you try to get maybe 1.5 yards on a penalty? They do send the offense back out. No.
No, this is the field goal unit.
It is the field goal unit,
yeah,
so there it is.
Okay. This is the right, yeah, this is a smart decision to me.
It'll be a 19-yard field goal. Out of the hold of Livesey. No angle. Up. Good. Plaskin splits the uprights, and Gateway leads 20-17 with 30 seconds remaining.
Talk about resilience for Gateway here. Game's not over yet, still 30 seconds, but to go down, first of all, you score and you tie the game after your offense was just getting as close as they possibly could and then always getting stuffed. And then you tie the game at 10, and then you instantly allow a huge kickoff return, and that's deflating. But then you stick with it, you play good defense, you're rewarded with a pick 6, and then you stop them again, and then you drive down the field and end up scoring 3 points and taking the lead. It's their first lead since 3-0, but again, it's just that resiliency of a 2-0 team, and it's that mentality as well. It's, look, even though we're down, even though we've been kind of trailing almost the whole game, we're still in this. We're still a good team, and the Gators showed that on that last drive. Remember, they started deep. They were only on their own 25, I want to say, and they marched down the field, and they knocked off a lot of time, about 4.5 minutes.
Started at the 33 after the
33
punt return of Livesey. So they drive it.
Had to convert a couple third downs.
17 and 48, 65 yards, right? 4th and 7.
Huge end around on the 4th and 7. They just stuck with it the whole way. They stuck to their game plan, and now they are 30 seconds away from seeing it pay off. And if I'm Gateway right now, I am not kicking it to the left side towards number 1 Cooper Thompson. We'll see what they decide, but to me, you got to keep it away from them. They're just going to squib it.
Yeah, that's a smart move. One of the up men gets it. It is Logan Johnson using that big, tall frame. He's going to get to the 30, still fighting, and he's costing them seconds. He fights out to the 34, but that takes 10 seconds off the clock, which is down to 20.
And you can almost see number 1 here on the left screen, Cooper Thompson. It's near the end, you could kind of see him yelling like, get down, get down. I think he realized valuable seconds were coming off the clock.
So now it is a face mask against Gateway. So instead of the 34, you're at the 49. You got a good kicker in Damon McCall, who has got range in the 40 yards. So to get there, you need to get inside the 30.
So that's about 20 yards, 20,
Burns your
21
timeout.
yards.
Maybe, yep.
Possible.
25, 26. Green to throw. Pressure, steps away. Pressured again, good smart move to get away. The secondary pressure came from Louis Douglas.
And the ref saying that's a legal pass, didn't
out of the hash marks, which is a new rule.
Didn't qualify for intentional grounding, which is good. The last thing John Green needed was a sack. That would have been brutal.
He got it past the line of scrimmage either way, too. Yep, you're absolutely right. That took 4 seconds.
Not the end of the world there. You also want to tell your offensive line to hustle. If this pass is completed, you need everyone to get up.
The shotgun on 2nd and 10. Quick throw this time. That's too high. There was double coverage, and the blanket coverage was provided by Livesey. Has got in to Jake Polero. Actually, it wasn't Livesey, excuse me. It was Ricari L.
Yeah, Ricari L and Dallas Harper as the safety, both blanketing the receiver. Yeah, good coverage there. That's a tight throw.
Also took 4 seconds. 3rd and 10. Is not good news for the Gateway Gators as I see Baron Fowler on crutches, so we'll keep an eye on that as the season progresses. He left in the second half with a leg injury. 3rd and 10. John Green rules opposite this time to the left, throwing it. It is over the outstretched hands of his top receiver, Mike Hosky, and we're down to the final offensive snap for the Indians. They need at least 10 to keep this game alive.
That's a good route. Hosky found a little soft spot there between the 2 defenders, and Green didn't make a bad throw. It's a really tight window, really, for any kind of quarterback. And Green did a pretty good job. It just was out of Hosky's reach there, but an impressive route because he found some space, and that, heck, if he would have gone to the sideline, would have stopped the clock, would have given them new life.
And a chance to catch their breath. That also took 4 seconds. That seems to be the average. Now Gateway is going to take a timeout.
See the Gateway student section jumping up and down a little more. They can taste it. 1 play away. This has been quite a battle. Probably the toughest test they've faced this season. Trailing for a majority of this game. Found a way to claw back. You know, 1 play away from going 3-0.
I mean, everyone likes a blowout, maybe with the exception of us, right?
Yeah.
But it's a good test.
It's a good test.
Going into a strong conference for the Gateway Gators in their final non-conference action before they head into the Big East Conference and section play here in 5A.
Well, I think it's a little wake-up call too, and I think it is a good test. And
that's a good point.
You know, just to say, hey, even though we're 2-0 and we played a 0-2 team, look, we still got to play our game and we still got to be at our best. And I think there were instances where the Gators were, and then I think there were instances where the Gators may have been a little sloppy. And that's something you put together over the course of a season, and this will be a good learning experience for the Gators.
This is it. North Hills needs at least 10. They need the Gateway 41 to keep the drive alive. 4th and 10, Green dropping straight back. Has time. We're down to 4 seconds. He's pressured. This is it. 0 on the clock. Throws it up, but it's short. And this one is over. The Gateway Gators come on the road. They survive the pesky North Hills Indians in a great back and forth one. And Gateway with a field goal from Cole Plaskin of 19 yards with 30 seconds left. They win this one by a final score of 20-17.
Credit to North Hills there. They gave him, I think, gave Gateway all they could handle. Good special teams throughout the night for the Indians, but Gateway just a couple big plays at the end, and especially that last drive, they ended up doing the job. Again, Dallas Harper, just a huge, two big interceptions, but that second one, that pick 6, really just said, hey, we're not going away easy. That gave Gateway new life, and they ended up winning 20-17.
I think the Plaskin field goal obviously is big, but that Dallas Harper pick 6.
Yeah, that's...
Gateway got a little bit of swagger back. So much swagger that they went for it on 4th and 7. Here it is right there.
There it is again. And again, John Green off of his back foot.
That might have been 6 the other way.
It really is.
Cooper Thompson.
You called it exactly right. Thompson has the speed to go the distance too. But Harper with just an exceptional play. He read it the whole way, saw John Green's eyes, saw the rollout, and he just jumped it at the perfect time. And look, in a close game, it comes down to those playmaker type plays. And Harper was able to do it tonight.
Well, it was a good one. And Gateway, 3-0 is 3-0, thanks to Adam Gusky, who's normally in this seat. That's me, Bob Workus, my partner tonight, Michael Garr. As well, great job always by the fine staff, Lee Schaefer III, our director, Allie Gusky. On replay, Lee Schaefer, junior camera operator, and the chief engineer, Greg Hughes on the camera tonight, and Bree Gusky as well. For Michael Garr, Bob Workwith, and our great team, Miko Brown, the streaming supports. Your final score from North Hills Gateway 20 and North Hills 17. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for watching on the Gateway Gators Football Network.